series, but none may be more vivid than 1985. The Alabama Crimson Tide driving down the field in Birmingham, seemingly on their way to overcoming a 16-14 Tennessee lead. Vol linebacker Dale Jones intercepts a Bama pass and stops them. Then in the final second of the game, a 61-yard field goal try by Alabama's Van Tippen falls just short, and Tennessee beat Alabama for a fourth consecutive time. ABC Sports presents the 69th game between the Crimson Tide of Alabama and the Volunteers of Tennessee on CFA College Football. It's an absolutely glorious day of weather in Knoxville, Tennessee, down on the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. And this stadium today may, in the final count, offer a record crowd. It could be. But we know they seat just over 91,000, and we know all the seats have been spoken for. So it's going to be one of the big crowds in college football for this year. And you heard right, Tennessee has beaten Alabama 4 straight years, a scalding fact for Coach Ray Perkins and his Red Elephants. And the Tennessee Volunteers, a bit of a disappointing team, and a start of the season for the Sugar Bowl champions so far, 2-3, as you look through the bars of a face mask. But the Volunteers have been thrashing around a little bit under Murphy's Law, it seems. But remember this game today against Ofo, Alabama, is a season maker. And just down the street from the stadium stands this church with this sign in front of it. It says football is just a game, spiritually. Nevertheless, beat Bama. So it reaches all levels, and here's the Crimson Tide coming into the stadium with a record of 6-0, ranked second in the nation. They will play today before one of the largest hostile crowds that some of these young men will have ever faced. Now, Alabama has not given up on defense a single point over the last 6 quarters. And let's go to that subject now with Tim Brandt and talk about this bunch of crunchers wearing the white today. And on defense, they are red elephants, but the biggest elephant of all has got to be Cornelius Bennett, that linebacker.
And he is fun to watch, Keith. You know, Alabama will play their All-American linebacker to the wide side of the field just to watch teams run to the short side, into the boundary. They can force teams into a certain situation because it seems they all like to run away from Cornelius Bennett. So Alabama comes back, and they move Cornelius Bennett from side to side, which consequently throws the opponents out of their rhythm. Cornelius Bennett is an impact player. Ironically, when I was talking with Ray Perkins yesterday, who also coached in the National Football League, I asked him, what makes Cornelius Bennett so special?
Well, I think the thing that separates him, you know, he's got great ability. He's not the only person alive that's got great ability. He's not the only person that's 6'3", 6'4", that's 230, 235, and runs a 4.4 40, and that's strong, and that's got quick, cat-like quickness and change of directions and great athletic ability and so forth. He's not the only one that possesses those type of things. The thing that separates Cornelius Bennett with somebody else that have those similar abilities is that he's got a deep burning pride deep down in him that wants to be the best. Plays every play like it's his last, whether it's in practice or whether it's in a game.
Tennessee also has an All-American linebacker, but he is a different type player. Dale Jones does not possess the type of natural athletic ability that Cornelius Bennett has. But he is smart. He is tenacious. He has intestinal fortitude, and he is an overachiever. He is not the reason that Tennessee is 2-3 on this season. The reason is they've had some critical breakdowns in crucial situations from various players, but they've also had a lot of injuries. Specifically, William Howard, who is the nation's leading scorer, has 10 touchdowns, 62 points. He will not play today. He's out with a knee injury. There have been other injuries, especially at the running back position, and consequently now, Tennessee has to play some 18-year-olds, guys that were in high school 5 months ago, and that's not the way you beat Alabama, and that has Johnny Majors concerned.
Now, right now, we're going to be playing without the nation's leading scorer, William Howard, who's out of the game with a knee ligament. Our outstanding sophomore, who was a good freshman last year, Keith Davis, who's going to be playing sparingly. He's our leading runner, frankly. Pete Panuska, another tailback's out. So we're going to be playing 2 freshmen for the first time, regular freshmen, and starting a redshirt freshman at tailback, Bando Davis.
The series record, as you can see, stretches over a lot of years, all the way back to 1901. But tuck this away, Tennessee was the last team to beat Alabama.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet, by Cigna, a leader in insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services, by Honda, all-terrain vehicles. Come ride with us. We'll show you America. And by Howard Johnson Hotels and Lodges.
Is this Howard Johnson?
Yes, sir. There's been a lot of changes. You might say we're turning the place upside down.
You know, a lot is changing at Howard Johnson. New rooms, new furnishings, and new attention to service. It's different. I like it.
1 second. I'm just straightening up.
No matter how you look at it,
This is Howard Johnson.
we're turning Howard Johnson upside down.
You know, the weirdest things happened to me, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, here I am stocking up for Halloween. I got my steaks, got my ribs. Then when I asked the stock boy where the Coors Light is stacked, he points me to the Coors and Coors Light Halloween display, and I'm on it. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Look for it where you buy beer. I shop here because they slash prices. There goes another one. Happy Halloween, darling.
A wild game has just been completed in Chapel Hill. 5 touchdowns scored in the 4th quarter. With 8 seconds left, North Carolina tried a 2-point conversion that would have won the ball game. Dick Crum called a screen pass, an odd call at the 3-yard line. It was incomplete, and consequently, North Carolina State held on for a gutty 35-34 win. Dick Sheridan beats the Tar Heels in his first game against Carolina at State. Yours, Keith.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. And as we come into this ball game, Alabama shares the longest unbeaten streak in the country with Michigan at 11-0-1. Michigan was trailing a little while ago. Tennessee just kicked off to Alabama, and Bobby Humphrey is now returning it for the Crimson Tide, and he comes out to about the 25-yard line, and there they'll go to work with this backfield. Mike Shula will be at the quarterback spot. Bo Wright is in there, new to this alignment. Humphrey, of course, the key man, number 26, who is the tailback. But Gene Jelks, the other tailback, is healthy now, and he'll be sharing time with Bobby Humphrey. And these are 2 tough running backs. Jelks is almost like a razor blade. He is so quick that he just slashes his way through there. So here's the first offensive play of the ball game, the 69th meeting between Alabama and Tennessee. Shula pitches to Humphrey. And big one for Bobby Humphrey. A first down for him as he gets out beyond the 38-yard line. The offensive front, and these 2 big guys in the middle there, Condon and Rose. Bill Condon, 6'2", 250, and Larry Rose, 6'4", and 270. Condon is a junior and Rose is a sophomore, and they will be key people in the offensive front today for Alabama. Just short of the 39. First down for the Tide. Again, it is Humphrey carrying the ball, and again, there is daylight in the middle as he's out past the 41, close to the 42. The Tennessee defense. Now, the linebackers in Tennessee's football history have always been great, it seems. But there's a big guy down in the trenches, number 59, who's going to be very important for them today. Mark Hovanek, 6'3", 255 from Yorktown, Virginia, is going to have a big game. He's going to have to anchor things down where the big guys work. And he will probably be considered capable because he's tough. This is Humphrey going for the outside. And the pulling guard gives him some room as he lays a solid block, opening the door, and the gain is out close to the 49-yard line before Andre Creamer brings him down. Larry Rose, watch him pull out here and lead the way.
Keith, it is critical that Tennessee stops Alabama on the first drive. They've got to keep the crowd in the ballgame because, quite frankly, right now they don't have the personnel to play with Alabama competitively. Alabama has come out already and is doing absolutely nothing fancy. They came out with 2 tight ends and an I-back for every play until this one.
Humphrey is out now as they go to a set one lone back, and Shula sets step on first down looking for the pass, and he's got nobody to throw it to, and Mike has to pull it down and eat it, but he gets across midfield for a couple of yards on the carry. Hovanek is the man who makes the tackle for Tennessee. So that time, Alabama tried to spread the Tennessee defense, and the Vols were equal to the challenge.
Well, the play was made by Andre Creamer, who was playing that corner, and he had Bell taken and covered quite nicely. Shula saw that, tucked it away, and then the defensive backs released the receiver and came up and supported on the run and made the tackle.
Point we made in the early on hours of the day that Shula with a touchdown pass today becomes the career leader in touchdown passes for Alabama. It is 2nd down and 8. Humphrey hit at the line of scrimmage and gets away. Charles Kimbrough, the outside linebacker, had a hold of Bobby Humphrey, but he couldn't wrap the arms on him. Humphrey shakes him off and picks up a first down.
We talked in the pregame about Tennessee having breakdowns in critical situations. Here they make the big play. It would have brought up a long situation, but instead, look at this. They let him get out of their grasp. They're not wrapping arms. They've got to do that to beat this team, especially against a running back like Bobby Humphrey, who has sprinter speed and he has the strength to break away from tackles.
And he's out of the ball game now as Gene Jelks, a 5'11", 170-pound sophomore from Gadsden, comes in for the Tide, and he is the faster of the two. And there's the hole on the left side for Gene Jelks, and he's got 8 yards on that carry, and they're chewing him up right where we thought they might.
Well, Gene Jelks has been in the whirlpool since he injured his ankle the 3rd week of the season, but he knows you can't help the club in the tub. So he wanted to get back in and start playing again because Humphrey was going over the 100-yard mark every time he had the football in a game. So now Jelks is back.
And it's 2nd down and 2. Jelks has it again, cuts it back into the middle, bounces to the outside. First down, Alabama at the 19-yard line of Tennessee. Charles Davis, the strong safety on the stop.
He may be coming off a sprained ankle, but even when Jelks is sore and a step slower, he's still 2 steps faster than most guys. You see, he goes through a hole that's there and then gets into the secondary and immediately cuts it to the right side to try to find some room in that secondary between the defensive back and the safety.
So it's a first down, Alabama at the Tennessee 19-yard line. Bo Wright, number 40, is your fullback. That's Al Bell in motion. Jelks for the ball. Block on the corner, 13-yard line. Pick up of 6 on that carry before Kimbrough brings him down. That's Charles. There are 2 Kimbroughs in the Tennessee alignment. The backup for Charles, who spells his name Kimbrough. He's backed up by Brian, who spells his Kimbrough Kimbro.
Boy, look at number 22. You know, he was the most valuable player in the Aloha Bowl. He's been the SEC Player of the Week, Sports Illustrated Player of the Week, runs for touchdowns, throws for touchdowns, and he's only a sophomore, has not reached his full potential yet.
2nd down and 4. Fullback, Bo Wright, up the middle, inside the 5, to the 1, touchdown!
Football, nothing fancy. Bo Wright is thick. He's 5'11", 215 pounds, and he has that low center of gravity, and you'll see him as he gets to the 3 now. 3 volunteers have him. 4 volunteers. He's still driving. and he takes 4 of them with him into the end zone for the touchdown.
Van Tiffin is out for the extra point try. He's got 116 in a row and nails this one right through the middle as Alabama extends its collective record for a new NCAA mark. And with 10:24 to go in the first quarter, Alabama takes the opening kickoff and grinds it for a touchdown.
When we want to work up a sweat, nothing works like this full-size Chevy pickup. It's got the muscle of a fuel injector 350 V8. And it's available on every full-size Chevy. It's got the strength of girder beam front suspension. Where? Oh, there. Plus double wall construction. So when you need a tough working partner, nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing. Yeah? Yeah. Right?
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses, one person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
The Tennessee Volunteers 1985 Southeastern Conference Football Championship was their first since 1969.
One story not directly related to football today. A Baltimore paper, the Baltimore Sun, reporting this morning that discussions are ongoing between attorneys for basketball coach Lefty Driesell of the University of Maryland and officials of that university, and that those discussions are aimed at Driesell's eventual departure from the university. Of course, if you were here with us at halftime last week, you heard Dick Dull, the athletic director who has resigned, say that in his words, he wouldn't put a dime of his money either way on the question of whether or not Driesell will remain. But speculation now rife in Eastern newspapers that Lefty Driesell is headed for an exit from Maryland. Now back to Keith Jackson.
What's up, Mom? Bo Wright getting his first collegiate start, just scored his first collegiate touchdown for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And now the Tide will kick off to Tennessee with Anthony Miller, a 180-pound sprinter from Pasadena, California, waiting to receive it. Another one of those sprinter wide receivers for Tennessee. High kickoff, 5-yard line. Miller breaks from his wedge and gets to about the 20-21. Where he is brought down. Jeff Francis opens that quarterback now for Tennessee, growing every week in that position. Number 87 is Joey Clinkscale. We think that those two are going to have to hook up some today if the Volunteers are going to be in the hunt. Clinkscales is an outstanding and exciting wide receiver.
Just don't think that Tennessee can run against this Alabama defense effectively or consistently. They have to go to the air, and you're right, Francis has improved. He was 23 of 33 passes last week against Army.
Keith Davis has opened to the backfield with 2 sore knees. So he's in there, and on the first play, they'll throw it. They go down the middle with it, and the pass is complete to the tight end, Tim Hendricks. And Hendricks is going to have the pickup of about 7, close to 8 yards. The offensive front, Wilkinson, Bruin, Kirk Galbraith, and Smith, they're big enough, but they're a little short on experience, and they perhaps might be a little short on foot speed. But it's a rather good offensive front for Tennessee. Pickup of, call it 7, 2nd down and 3. Davis is out now, and Charles Wilson is the lone remaining back for the Volunteers. And Wilson has the ball and has a first down as he breaks it big. He blew that thing all the way to the 45-yard line, and he had a huge hole in behind John Bruin and Bruce Wilkerson.
Wilkerson is the key to that offensive line. He is all Southeastern Conference preseason All-American. You see, he just takes his man and rides him out there to the right. And here comes Wilson up inside. Well, when you start throwing to your tight end and you start going outside to the wide receivers, the running game opens up. So they've been effective now. 1 pass, 1 run.
Interesting that Charles Wilson is from the same hometown as Bo Wright, Pritchard, Alabama. Jeff Francis from Mount Prospect, Illinois. Run down from behind. Guess who?
And it's a fumble. And it's Alabama's football.
I thought he was out of bounds when
no,
the ball
sir.
got loose.
Dropped the ball before he went out, and again, it's all everything. Cornelius Bennett coming from the backside, and nobody does that better. Best athlete in college football on defense right there, 97. They run away from him constantly. He chases them down from the backside.
Yeah, he went out of bounds all right, but he left the ball behind him, and Derek Slaughter recovered.
4.5 speed, and that is a big man. But as Ray Perkins said, he's all out on every single play. He never quits. The play go away, he chases them down from the back. Alabama's football.
Come ride with me and I'll take you where you never been before. Ride with me and I'll show you that there's really so much more. There's a place you'll never know. Come on down, don't miss the show. Ride with me and I'll show you America.
On a Honda ATV, the end of the road is just the beginning.
With the Hayes modem, a sales manager can check inventories in manufacturing or track shipments through the mainframe across the country. A lawyer can get precedents to prepare a brief. A farmer can check commodity prices to determine when to sell. And an investor can get the information he needs from Dow Jones, Dun & Bradstreet, or even the government. The Hayes modem. It's like fitting a 10,000 book library in a 10-inch case.
Derek Slaughter. Alabama now with an opportunity, first down from the Tennessee 43. They march right down the field with the opening kickoff to go ahead, and it's Humphrey and Wright lined up behind Shula with Al Bell in motion. Humphrey with the ball. Big hole on the right side. Once again, somebody had a hold of Humphrey, but he broke the tackle. There's a penalty flag thrown back up around the 35-yard line. First man that hit him was Darren Miller, inside linebacker for Tennessee, but I think that one's going to come back. The referee is Jimmy Harper. Clip, Alabama. Bud Mostello, the umpire. Billy Schroer, the linesman. Line judge, Ed Dudley. Joe Delaney, field judge. John Fleming, side judge. And the back judge is Dick Pace. In Alabama's first touchdown drive, their first possession, Humphrey ran for 32 yards. Jelks for 28 and Wright for 13. Shula picked up 2. They tried a pass, or at least Mike dropped back to look to throw and pulled it down.
What a break, though, Keith, for Tennessee. Again, as you mentioned, Darren Miller came through. Now, he weighs 236 pounds. Bobby Humphrey is 180 and just bounced off of him like a pinball.
The ball is at the Tennessee 49 now, where it's a first down for the Tide. They've got to go to the 33. They need 16 yards for the first down. Same formation, same movement, and same man with the ball, Humphrey. And Bobby's to the 44. That time he chose to run right side behind Condon and Joe King. Alabama up front. Hoss Johnson's 270, Rose 270, Neighbors 250, Condon 250, and Joe King is 290. Auburn big at halftime over Georgia Tech. Because Auburn waits down at the end of the calendar, end of the season for Alabama in Birmingham. From the 44, second down, 11. You got 2 tight ends on the field for the Tide, and this time Bell comes back to the ball. And Bell's got the ball on a reverse. Gets 2 blocks on the corner and gets down to about the 33, and he is close to a first down. There was very little deception in that particular play. They simply showed it, ran it, and come up just short of the first down.
Keith, this is basically the same defensive unit that we saw last year. They have 9 starters back from the 1985 team that went 9-1-2 and was extremely impressive against Tennessee, and it just does not look like the same personnel. They aren't as fast, they aren't gambling as much, they aren't as aggressive, they aren't wrapping their arms.
Third down and a yard for Alabama. Shula going for it. Clay Whitehurst, touchdown. Penalty flag. Whitehurst beat Kramer.
It's going to be interference against Kramer. He pulled down his arm. Didn't make any difference. Whitehurst went up and pulled it down with his left arm one-handed. But it was a great fake by Shula.
Touchdown,
picture call. Clay Whitehurst coming home. He is from Nashville. Paul Bryant wrote him a letter when he was 10 years old. And immediately, Clay Whitehurst became an Alabama football fan, and when he became the quality player that would be recruited by them, he didn't hesitate. He knew where he was going the whole time. And Van Tippen adds the extra point, and Alabama has jumped out to a 14-0 lead over Tennessee with 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Look at the fake by Shula, though. He's got the ball on his hip. Now everybody is frozen. Kramer is 2 steps behind already, and here he comes. See that? He holds his right arm, the left arm goes up and makes the catch. Tremendous execution by Whitehurst.
And remember this, Ray Perkins has never beaten Tennessee. Right now, he's got a 14-0 lead in the first quarter.
To break free. To reach new heights. To accept the challenge. To master a more demanding world. Feel the pride. Show the world your U.S. Navy. Live the adventure. Call 1-800-327-NAVY.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat.
When it's time for a change, put yourself in today's Chevy Cavalier and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's
A battle of the unbeatens. Alabama is second-ranked in the nation. Paterno's Penn State squad is number 5. Coverage begins with College Football Today, next Saturday.
Well, with 4 straight wins over 4 years, the Air Force had done to Notre Dame's Jerry Faust pretty much what they did to Japan at the end of World War II. But Lou Holtz put a stop to that. The Irish win today 31-3. Also in Giant Stadium, in a game in which only 1 touchdown was scored, Florida beat Rutgers 15-3. Keith?
And Alabama here in Knoxville will kick off from midfield because of the defensive pass interference against Alabama. It is 14-0 Bama, and Anthony Miller is the deep man for Tennessee. Van Tippen will kick it off. The Tide rolling for a shootout with Penn State next Saturday in Tuscaloosa, which you'll see on ABC. High kickoff. Won't be, oh, he fumbles the ball. It's loose on the ground. Alabama's got the ball. Number 91 comes out of the stack with it, Craig Epps, a linebacker, as Miller lost it, dove for it, and never found it.
Keith, the play was made by Van Tippen. Although he was kicking from the 50, you would think that he'd kick it into the end zone. He didn't. He pooched it and kicked it very high, let the coverage team come down. Because it was high, it was hard to handle. The ball's on the ground, and now the coverage team is down there, recovers, and Alabama has the ball on the 12-yard line.
Second turnover for Tennessee. Alabama cashed in the first one from 43 yards, and they're trying to cash this one in from 12. Shula pitches to Humphrey. He's got daylight on the left side and down to the 5. The Alabama offensive front right now in this ball game is just blowing Tennessee off the ball. They're blowing them right off the line of scrimmage.
See, there's not that much of a size difference between the offensive and defensive lines here either. But it's just power football. Right now, Tennessee is not sure what's taking place, and some of those guys are looking out through their belly buttons.
To the goal line goes Humphrey, but he is stopped just short. But he will have what appears to be a first down. First and goal at the Tennessee 1. So the Tide trying to jump early on Tennessee, leading 14-0. They've got a first and goal. The ball is at the Volunteer 1. 2 turnovers by Tennessee, and it looks like Alabama's going to cash them both. Humphrey didn't get there. He tried to go over the top, and a couple of volunteers were waiting for him.
See the defensive line? Every one of them, submarine. They established a new line of scrimmage deep now on the offensive line of the scrimmage. That's exactly what you have to do. Create a pile-up and let the linebackers fill and come over the top and meet the ball carrier, who also is going to try to take that aerial route.
Need about a foot. Up, Shula's got it, walks in. Touchdown, Alabama. Alabama, 9 minutes, 138 yards, and if Van Tippen's successful here, 21 points. But it's 2 turnovers by Tennessee that has just absolutely deflated their sails. The kick is good. So he's got 119 in a row himself. With 5:40 to go in the first quarter, it's now 21-0 Alabama.
Announcing the Valvoline Four Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil.
Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline Four Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
Guess what thousands of doctors are recommending for women who need extra calcium? Tums. Surprised? It's true. Tums isn't just a great antacid, it's also rich in calcium.
You see anything?
For MacGyver's Richard Dean Anderson and Valerie Bertinelli. The battle begins at home. Ordinary Heroes Sunday.
Vince Dooley is now 19-1-1 at Georgia against Vanderbilt as the Dogs beat the Commodores again today. Lars Tate, 19 carries, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in Ann Arbor, it is sticky for the Wolverines as Iowa leads 10-3 in the second quarter. Keith?
Mike Shula has now become the all-time career leader at Alabama in touchdown passes. You saw that a while ago to Whitehurst. Now you've just seen him walk in for a touchdown to make it 21-0. And the Tide kicks off. And Tiffin again has it high to Anthony Miller at the 5-yard line. And he is spun down at the 21, and he's lucky he didn't lose the ball there because it suddenly got out there in a loose position. Inside, I want you to have a look today at Wayne Davis, number 58, because this defensive alignment and the way they're trying to make Tennessee work, if they run the ball at all, I would think Wayne Davis, who is a very solid football player inside, could have a big day. 6'4", 220, a senior from Gordo, Alabama. Tennessee comes out now. Jeff Francis is the quarterback with Vando Davis. And Francis's pass is a bullet thrown very hard for Joey Clinkscales. And it went by him, and the pass was incomplete. Well, we told you early on today that Johnny Major's team had sort of been wallowing around under Murphy's Law, or cloud, it seems. But Tennessee's punter Bob Garman was warming up today and pulled a hamstring and is out of the game. So what in the world do you do? Now they've come out and turned it over twice. It is 2nd down and 10 from the 21. Pitch goes back to Vando Davis. Vando Davis started his career at Tennessee as a defensive back. He's a 6-footer, 185, out of Wilmington, Delaware, a redshirt freshman. And trying to get around the corner, he runs into Randy Rockwell. Randy Rockwell plays an outside linebacker position for the Tide at 6'3" and only weighs 200 pounds. But he's very quick. So it's still 3rd down and about 10 from the 21. And Alabama is caught trying to anticipate unless somebody moved along the front for Tennessee. It's against the Tide, encroachment. Johnny Majors taking on a little more of a grim look here, standing in the shade at Neyland Stadium.
Postman on the defense.
5 yards makes it 3rd down and 5. Francis to throw. Pass is away. Pass is good for a 1st down. Up around the 33 to Terrence Cleveland, the wingback. Cleveland not very big. He's out of Sweetwater, Tennessee at 5'9", 155 pounds.
Keith, when you think about it, everything that could go Tennessee's way last year did. They won 9 ball games, going to the Sugar Bowl, and beat Miami decisively. Everything that could go wrong for Tennessee this year has.
On 1st down for Tennessee, the ball out near the 34. Francis back to pass, swings it out, and the ball is dropped by Vando Davis. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Let's join Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, as you and Tim mentioned at the top of the show, one of the reasons Tennessee is hurting this afternoon is because of the loss of their fine fullback, William Howard. He was the nation's leading scorer. Now he's troubled by a bad knee. William, it's got to be awfully tough to see your teammates down 21-0 and not being able to do anything about it.
Well, no doubt, it definitely is. I have had a strained knee this week, and Alabama showed some explosiveness on offense, and we got to get after them the 2nd half and continue out this 1st half and just come out and execute our offense and try to get back in the game.
Offensively, what's happening out there? What's not happening, rather?
Well, we just haven't really had a chance to move the ball yet. We had a fumble early in the game by Francis, and we also had one on the kickoff. And our offense just hasn't had a chance to get in there and execute yet.
Well, maybe Jeff Francis and company can get it going. You need it bad now.
I sure hope so.
Okay, thanks, William. Keith?
This quick drop pass is away. The pass is caught for an 8-yard pickup. And Jeff Francis, just as he released the ball, was punished by Cornelius Bennett.
He changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Nonetheless, Bennett is coming to the left, or coming from the backside again. He gets by Vando Davis and makes the hit. But I think that's why Francis changed the play. He saw Bennett line up on the left side. He looked to the right side and called the audible and tried to get the quick pass to that side.
Pass was good for 9 yards. Keith Davis is back in. 3rd down and 1 now for the Volunteers. Trying to pick up their 2nd 1st down. Give the ball to Wilson. And Charles Wilson hammers his way to the 45, and the Volunteers do have their 1st down. The way this series has ebbed back and forth over the years, you're not out of the game at this point. But Tennessee's got to get themselves under control, quit making mistakes, and possess the ball for a time and score some points. Vando Davis is back in now at that tailback position out of the I formation. He's checking again, changing the play. Sin Davis. And he'll have another Tennessee 1st down as he gets to the Alabama 41, and again, big hole in the middle. So that means that Bruin and Galbraith and Wilkerson are doing some work in there, and they're controlling one of the better nose tackles. You see that time Kurt Jarvis run himself out of the play. He went to the right, and Davis came back to the left side, so effectively they didn't have to block Kurt Jarvis that time. Francis, screen, Miller, good block to get him down the sidelines, out of bounds, inside the 15 at the 11. Ricky Thomas finally got him.
Keith, you're seeing the maturity of a young quarterback now. Last week he gained confidence. This week, the play prior to this one, he saw that Cornelius Bennett lined up wide, so he gave the ball inside, underneath on the quick opening. This time he goes to the backside again, away from Bennett, and he goes to the flanker screen, so they're mixing their plays well. They're still going away from Bennett, but they're now spreading out that Alabama defense. And if it's spread out, it can't be as big and strong and come upfield as quickly.
Francis gives the ball inside, and Vando Davis, running very well, finds his way all the way to the 5 before they can bring him down. Maybe the 4. That's where they put the ball. So they can get a 1st down if they can punch it just inside the 2. Right now, it's 2nd down at the Alabama 4. Keith Davis goes in, replacing Vando Davis. Jim Miller is out there in the fullback position. They set up in the power eye. Come back this way with it. Carrying is 32, Charles Wilson. And Wilson is down to about, he's close to the 2, but I think a little short of the first down.
Wilson sat out a great portion of last season with a persistent shoulder ailment. Then he broke his forearm in this preseason, and right now he's playing with a cast on his arm. You can see it right there. See the right arm? He's playing with a cast and still has a broken forearm.
It's Charles Wilson, Jim Miller, and Keith Davis, and Miller primarily in this alignment is a blocking back. 6-footer, 225-pound senior out of Nashville. Now Wilson has come off the field. No, it is, yes, Charles Wilson coming off the field.
Miller is a good blocker. He's 6 foot, 227 pounds. He's not one of the thoroughbreds. He's more of the plow horse type, and I mean that as a compliment. He works hard. He's tenacious. He's fundamentally sound, and he is a mature leader. He can block very well.
He came off, turned around, and went right back in. And he lines up in the tailback position. On 3rd and 1 for the first down. Alabama folks are in that end of the stadium, and they're not helping. Touchdown, Keith Davis.
You just brought the crowd back into the ball game. You also just built the confidence of a very young Tennessee team. That was a very well executed offensive series. They spread the defense out. They ran away from Cornelius Bennett. When he came to the outside, they went to the inside. When he positioned himself inside, then they went on the quick flanker screen.
Randy Sanders to hold. Carlos Revez to try the extra point. The snap was wide. Sanders held it, and Revez knocks it through. With 1:07 to go in the first quarter, Tennessee gets on the board. It's now 21-7, and here's the Alabama campus.
At the University of Alabama, bringing out the star quality that's in everyone is our proudest tradition.
You talk about the Tennessee crowd getting into it, just listen. Davis scoring from 2 yards out, 21-7 now, as Tennessee will kick off to Alabama. And the Tide sends Bobby Humphrey as their deep man. Tennessee running off 11 plays to go to 79 yards to get the touchdown.
See Keith Davis turn to the camera and wave. One of the coaches grabbed him immediately and said, hey, come on, we've got a long way to go. Get away from the camera and let's play football.
Long, high kick by Revez. Whoa. Oh, boy. He stopped just short of the goal line. He almost stepped on the goal line, which would have put him in some trouble. Here's Mike Adamle again.
Well, Keith, it's not uncommon for teams before big games to pull out every single stop. Now, I don't know if there's any psychological ramifications behind this, but for the first time ever, the Tennessee Volunteers are wearing some gaudy orange shoes. They were donated by a prominent shoe company. Now, if you click your heels 3 times, you won't go to Kansas, but you might get yourself in the Alabama end zone. So far, it's only happened once this afternoon. Keith?
Al Bell goes in motion for the Tide. Humphrey carries the ball up the middle, and he picks up 3 yards, and the Tennessee defense now taking a little heart from the success of the offense, and the gain is only 3.
Well, I can't tell you how close Alabama came to making a mistake on that kickoff. It's a good thing he wears a size 10 instead of a size 11, or that ball would be on the 1.
Right. 2nd down and 7. Bell has been in motion on virtually every play, but he's yet to see the ball, and here he goes again. Shula back to Humphrey. 2 blockers in front of him. Big hole. First down. Alabama up at the 37. My gosh, the two pulling linemen were out there all by themselves. The other guys had sealed inside, and he had an escort for that first down.
Yeah, but see what Alabama's doing is, you're right, they're running Bell across there in motion, and they're running people out. They're using him to take Charles Davis out of that side, and then when he goes across, then they come back with Humphrey where Charles Davis was supposed to be. So Tennessee has to change its defense a little bit, be more aggressive, maybe not follow the motion man across the field, because they're using that motion man to take and position the defensive players. And there he is right there. That's Charles Davis.
Shaken up a little bit, so he's out of the ball game. Gene Jelks goes back in at tailback for Alabama. Jelks relieving Humphrey, and both of them were very prominent in that opening touchdown drive. Victor Peppers is now in for Tennessee at a cornerback spot, replacing Davis. And here's Jelks wiggling through the traffic and getting up to the 46-yard line, and that's a pickup of about 8 yards as the first quarter has come to a close after 1 in Knoxville. Alabama 21, Tennessee 7.
When me and my buddies head off to West Texas, nothing works like my Chevy S10 Maxi Cab 4x4. With Instatrack 4-wheel drive, the optional off-road suspension, it can take us to the wildest place in the West. The Terlingua Chili Cook-Off. Come and get it! Good, huh? Yeah. Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing.
Who says you can't have old world taste and a new world waste? Old world aging and the new world's youthful spirit. Europe's finest hops in America's finest light beer. Michelob Light, old world quality from Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can have it all.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses. One person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
Power your business software into a new dimension with the Tandy 3000 computer. Important data is only milliseconds away from an advanced 286 microprocessor that delivers high-speed performance and PC compatibility. You can add up to 12 million bytes of memory and expand by sharing that power with others in your office. Discover the Tandy 3000 family of value-priced business computers at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
We move to quarter number 2. That tailback combination of Jelks and Humphrey has now counted for 101 yards in the ball game on 14 carries. It is second down and a long 2 for the Tide. At their own 46, they give it a Bo Wright. Bo Wright, the fullback, cuts back against the grain, muscles one man for a first down. At least it appears to be a first down as he's just over the 48-yard line. They'll check it to make sure. Charles Davis, incidentally, is back into the game after having missed the one play being shaken up. While they've checked with the change, as Davis back. Lindsey Nelson, one of the fine gentlemen in our business. They now accord the first down to Alabama. Among those watching today, Lindsey is now teaching here at the University of Tennessee. Always fun to see Lindsey. From the 48, Shula pitches back to Jelks. And good defensive play by Dale Jones. He got one hand and hung on.
Keith, that's better than a good defensive play. That's a great defensive play by that linebacker. He came through, and watch him split the backs, the blocks rather. He comes upfield quickly. All right, he gets rid of the first block. That's what you have to do. Squares his shoulders now, takes on the second blocker, and then finally splits him and reaches out to make the tackle one-handed. That's great body strength.
Howard Cross was trying to hold him with the belt buckle and keep him from getting through there.
Hey, listen, though, he was raised in a family of 13 kids. He's competitive. He knows that feeling. He can get out of it.
Second down, 11. Jelks is out, Wright the lone remaining back, and Bo Wright bounces outside, and he is knocked out of bounds at the Tennessee 43 by Andre Kramer. So he almost exploded into the open. If Kramer doesn't get him, he's gone. Third down and 2 for the Tide. Now Jelks comes back at tailback. Got the ball. And don't think he has the first down. Tennessee jumped him pretty well that time as Alabama tried to muscle him, and the Volunteers clogged it up. So let's see about whether or not it's a first down, and this time they may have to bring the change over. Lindsey Nelson and Mel Allen. Nelson is a UT graduate, and Mel Allen, of course, an Alabama graduate. And they went to New York collectively and sold NBC back in 1953 on the idea of NBC doing an Alabama-Tennessee game for Birmingham, and they did. It turned out to be a 0-0 tie. And Lindsey tells the story saying at least the 0-0 tie preserved the friendship of Nelson and Allen. You see, they're just short. But look what they've come to now. You've got Maryland and Washington State, right?
But I want to take this opportunity, though, because somebody very special, not only to me, but to all the college football fans in America. That's Keith Jackson is celebrating his birthday today, 58 years young. Congratulations, Keith.
Thank you, Tim. I guess that means that since Congress passed new legislation on mandatory retirement last Friday, it means I can hang around for a few years longer and irritate the sports TV critics, right? Chris Moore is in the punt. The deep man is Andre Kramer, defensive back. Tennessee peels off. Chris Moore puts it mile high and hangs it into the end zone. He was trying to hit the coffin corner with it and missed it. It'll be a 42-yard punt for Chris Moore. 21-7 Alabama with 13-14 to go in the first half.
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
If you have a dream, put yourself in today's Chevrolet Corvette and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
This year, 1 out of every 6 cars will need to have its brakes repaired. That's why at Midas, we offer a free brake inspection. If your car needs work, you know it's being done by experts. 500,000 people a year have their brakes fixed at Midas, and we're glad to have the business. But more important, we appreciate the trust.
Take it to Midas. Take it to someone you trust.
The Denver Broncos. Quarterback John Elway has their offense going full steam ahead, but the New York Jets plan to derail the Bronco Express on ABC's Monday Night Football.
No, my wife did not print that. All right, here's Tennessee. First down at their own 20, a 21-7 Alabama lead. Jeff Francis stays in there at quarterback, and Keith Davis is in the backfield with Charles Wilson. And it is Wilson to the 25.
I want you to look first in the left-hand column, the Alabama column, 128 yards rushing to just 42 for Tennessee. Now stay in that right-hand column, the Tennessee column, and come all the way down to turnovers, 2 for Tennessee. And that's the difference thus far in this ballgame.
Second down, 5. Davis is out. Wilson caught in the backfield by Kurt Jervis. Quick, big man, 6'2", 265, senior from Gardendale, Alabama.
That's just good old-fashioned football right here. Watch the nose guard now. Takes the right approach, just out-quicks the center. He's by him before the center can even look for the block, and he's into the backfield. Now, he doesn't know who has the football, so he grabs both.
Oh, me? He took them both on. Third down and movement along the front.
Yeah, see, no wonder he got so quick.
Third down and about 8 at that point.
That dead ball encroachment on the defense.
Yeah. See, old Kirk jumped across early that time. He wanted another lick.
Wanted another one. Well, Alabama, you're watching today against Tennessee. Next week from Tuscaloosa, it'll be Penn State. The Nittany Lions undefeated. And Alabama hoping to go to the ball game undefeated. Penn State having things in hand pretty well today against Syracuse, leading 35-3 in the second half. Now it is third down and 4 for the Volunteers. Francis has good protection, swings it out, and they're short of the first down. I do think they're going to mark him a little short of the first down. Keith Davis, who was the safety valve, got the ball, but when he turned it upfield, he got it. Just by an inch, he got it. The Alabama defender had him bent back a little bit, but that third effort got him the first down.
Well, again, see, now you watch. Francis will look to the right side and then all of a sudden go back on the little swing pass. He knows he's got some room back here in a one-on-one situation. Here comes the marking. Oh, that was
Derek
close.
Thomas, outside backer that hit him on first down. Got a man, Anthony Miller, wide open. He's on his way. Touchdown, Tennessee. So Jeff Francis unloads a big one to Anthony Miller, and Neyland Stadium erupts.
Francis throws a strike. Miller, the fastest player on his team. Now look at him. He never takes his eyes off of him. He unleashes the ball. This is a 70-yard touchdown. By this time, it's too late. Kermit Kendrick, the free safety, had taken the inside bait. He got caught in the middle, never got outside the release. Touchdown, Tennessee.
And Rivers in for the extra point. And we've got a ball game. With 11:39 to go in the first half, it's now 21-14.
You know, Jerry, sometimes I take you for granted. You're a terrific husband, a great golfer, and a super salesman.
Hey, Beth, what is this?
A financial genius. You're not.
Well, I got an idea. Why don't we get some advice?
You put a lot into life. You deserve to get the most out of it. We can help.
Mike Stone, New York Life. Jerry Perez. Jerry. My wife, Beth.
At New York Life, we have the resources to make the most of your resources. We offer a range of financial opportunities, including mutual funds, universal life, IRAs, and limited partnerships.
Jerry, you are making the right choice. Beth,
Don't settle for less than you deserve.
I know.
Get the most out of life with New York Life.
Army was heavily favored to beat Holy Cross at home, but the Crusaders, having a banner year under brand new head coach Mark Duffner, lead 17-14 with 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Gordon Lockbaum, Holy Cross's two-way player, played on every play except for punts in the first half. Back to you, Keith.
Thank you, Jim. 21-14 ball game before more than 90,000 at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Volunteers coming up with a 70-yard pass run play. And Anthony Miller, the young man from Pasadena, California. Walt Harris found him. He was out visiting at Pasadena area and came away with him. Another one of those sprinters that does so well here. High hanging kickoff goes to Bobby Humphrey. And Humphrey, coming up the right side, gets to the 25, to the 26. Let's take another look at the hookup of Francis to Miller.
Two keys here. First, Robinson, the cornerback from that side for Alabama. He came up to support the run. Didn't think they were going to throw. He guessed wrong. Then the safety, you see him there in the middle of your screen, has already taken the bait inside, and he is nowhere in sight. And there's not a soul in the field other than maybe Grady from Tennessee that could catch Miller from behind.
Alabama comes out. The crowd is back into the ball game now. First down tied, their own 26. Humphrey carries. And Bobby gets a first down for Alabama as he picks up 11, almost 12 yards on that gallop, with Milton Gordon bringing him down for the ball.
Now, the offense, Keith, has done its part. It's put 14 points on the board. The defense has to do its part now. The defense, of course, as we said, has 9 starters back from last year's team that played extremely well, won the SEC title, and went into beat Miami in the Sugar Bowl. But right now, it's the young kids, the freshmen playing offense, that have done all the damage.
Humphrey again. And another first down, and more as Bobby Humphrey. He's running like a 240-pounder. People are just bouncing off of him, and Bobby weighs only 185. But he is so quick.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, though. He is the team's leading rusher. They give it to him almost 15 times a game, and he averages over 5 yards per carry. Now, that's reliability. He also is one of the best receivers on the club. But you see here, he tucks that ball away, and anytime a defender comes near him, you see that left hand going wrap. He now has 12 carries, 103 yards.
Alabama on the Tennessee 36. Gene Jelks in at tailback. He bounces outside, and he picks up 9 yards. Well, there's something, aren't there, those two? Humphrey 185, Jelks only 170. But both of them just cut quick.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is turning into a track meet.
These games often do. They often do.
I'm impressed, though, with that guy, Ray Perkins. He has his guys that give up 2 touchdowns. It's now 21-14, and right away he sends that offense back onto the field. He says, line them up, straight ahead, no fair dodging. Let's go after him.
Second down and 1. Jelks, daylight in the middle, and another Alabama first down at the Tennessee 16-yard line. And they're tearing him up in the middle. Charles Davis, the strong safety, making that tackle. The 14 Tennessee points, the most scored against Alabama's defense since last year's Auburn game.
That offensive line goes 270, 270, 250, 250, and 290. And they're using every bit of that strength right now.
First down Tide, Volunteers 16. Jelks again. Clogged up, bounces on outside, and picks up another 8 yards.
Tennessee, excuse me, Keith, Tennessee has to surround him. They've got to get more leverage on the corner. The outside linebackers have to force everything back inside because Jelks and Humphrey are taking that corner and picking up 5, 10 yards at a carry. They've got to pinch him back in.
Timeout called by Tennessee. It'll be second down and 4 Alabama inside the Tennessee 10 when we come back.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
It's the rhythm on the road. It's the pulse on the street. Pulse on the street. City and town of magic sound.
Feel the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
That's today, Chevrolet.
To photograph the Earth's resources from the air, they say you need a camera that can see through clouds.
Fat chance.
Can't be done.
But Goodyear said,
Let's try a new way.
and developed a special kind of radar.
Goodyear? Yeah, the Aerospace Group.
Radar that not only sees through clouds, but gives you pictures as sharp as some cameras. Good thing we didn't listen to what they say. Goodyear.
A battle of the unbeatens. Alabama is second-ranked in the nation. Paterno's Penn State squad is number 5. Coverage begins with College Football Today, next Saturday.
Ray Perkins looking for his first win since he became the head man at Alabama against Tennessee. Johnny Majors has won 4 in a row. It is Alabama's ball. Second down and 4. The ball just inside the Tennessee 10-yard line. Jelks and Bo Wright split in the backfield now. New alignment for the Tide. Jelks. He's got the first down as he gets inside the 5 to the 4. It'll be first and goal, Alabama.
outside people have to be conscious that the last time Alabama scored, it was a bootleg by the quarterback on the outside corner. They gave up that corner. Now they've got to penetrate, shut down the middle, but don't let anybody outside.
Jumps. Touchdown. Jumps just put his face mask on the back of Condon and King and followed him in the end zone.
Boy, you've got that right. You can see him pulling. Even Neighbors got out there this time, and instead of going straight ahead, they sliced to the right. He's got all kinds of big folks out in front of him, and he just takes the one tackler into the end zone with him.
And Tippin for the extra point. He's good. 9:47 to go in the first half, and it's 28-14 Alabama. The way these guys are going up and down the field, we may need 3 digits on the scoreboard.
Now it's Johnny Major's job to go over to his young kids and say, hey, look, we got 14 points. Let's just keep going. We can come back. You have to believe in your coach. I don't care what he tells you. If he says a mosquito can pull a wagon, don't question him. Just jump on. And that's what he has to do now. He has to pump up these young freshmen and tell them, look, we can move on these guys. You're faster than they are. Let's go after them.
Van Tippin, incidentally, has 120 straight conversions. He's just 5 short of the NCAA record. And Alabama already holds the consecutive extra point record, stretching through 3 different kickers at 179 straight. There are your top 10 scorers, and we look at the Penn State score with interest because next week we'll be seeing the Nittany Lions against Alabama in Tuscaloosa here on ABC at 3 Eastern Time next Saturday.
Look at Hayden Fry's boys going against Michigan, 10-3 at the half.
Canceled practice one day this week, Hayden did, because he had 43 players that were all nicked up. Here's the kickoff, and it's a good hanger going down to Miller. Takes it right on the sidelines at the 9-yard line. And there's a lot of traffic on that sideline, but he gets it out across the 25 near the 27. There, Tennessee will go to work.
Talking about Hayden Fry, I suspect that was a coaching ploy. Build the confidence of Michigan a little bit. Telling them, painting the moon blue, saying all our guys are banged up. We don't even know if we'll be able to field a team. Then come out and just take them to task.
He's been known to do that.
The only man to win Coach of the Year honors in 3 conferences, Southwest, Missouri Valley, and Big Ten.
From the 27, first down, Tennessee. Charles Wilson is your lone remaining back. That's Clinkscales in motion, gives them trips on the top side of the picture. And Francis goes that way to Miller, and he catches the ball falling down and loses back to about the 24. He may have had a little daylight. He had a couple of blockers in front of him, what with the 3 wide receivers on that side, but lost his footing. Bando Davis comes back in as tailback now. May see Tony Thompson, a freshman from Lake Wales, Florida, before the day is over. Miller and Clinkscales, the wide people, on second down and close to 14. Give it to Bando Davis, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage to the 27. They say Tony Thompson had a very, very good week of practice, and he's an exciting little guy, 5'8", 175, out of Lake Wales, Florida.
Well, they've got 3 freshmen they're very high on, Tony Thompson, Reggie Cobb, and Greg Amsler, but they wanted to redshirt all 3 of them, and now just because of the injury factor, they're not able to.
They go back to the 3 wide alignment with Wilson the lone remaining back, third down and about 10. And we've got penalty flags. You can imagine how hard it is to hear with more than 90,000 people all involved in this big bowl.
Alabama, part of the reason they practiced inside this week was so they could play music and loud noise on the amplifier.
Dead ball, illegal motion, false start on the offense.
So that the Tide could get used to the loud noise and put it on the amplifier and blasted it the whole time practice was going on.
There's a look at Neyland Stadium. We'll get a crowd count before we get done, but this time of the year it can just be glorious down here. What with the leaves turning and the bright blue sky, I don't see a cloud. We've got that kind of a day today.
We've had a full moon the last 2 evenings.
So it's third down at about 15 as the ball comes back to the 23. I tell you, Francis goes out to dinner tonight. He'll be writing notes. He won't have a voice left. Screaming down the line, gets some protection, gets his pass away down the middle, and it is incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Clinkscales. Joey was out in the middle of the secondary, but he threw the ball behind him. And so Tennessee will have to punt it. Now here comes a problem for Tennessee, because the Tennessee punter hurt himself, pulled a hamstring warming up, and Jim Asman has to come in and do the punting. He's a senior. So they've lost Garman, who was averaging just under 44 yards per punt. Now Jim Asman is slammed into the breach. Let's see how he does. Whoa. Not bad. Greg Richardson coming across, fumbles the ball out of bounds at the 38-yard line of Alabama. So that's a 40-yard punt. So Jim Asman answers the call and does well on his first attempt at 7:35 to go in the first half.
There's a tendency in business to focus on the big picture. But at Cigna, we realize the big picture is actually made up of millions of smaller pictures, which is why our companies provide an array of insurance, healthcare, employee benefits, and financial services to millions of individuals and thousands of businesses. One person at a time. Cigna, personalized service to business around the world.
I own a PC and a VCR, a condo on the beach, and my own company. But I don't own a car. I lease with GMAC. For me, leasing was smarter than buying. It's just good money management. And since I worked out the terms with my GM dealer, I can pay less each month. It was easy. Now I've got the new car I want, and leasing frees up my money for other things.
GMAC Leasing, only at your GM dealer. For you, it just might be smarter than buying.
Crimson Tide man rolling his videotape. 95,116 at Neyland Stadium watching the game today. Alabama to the attack now. First down for the Tide, their own 38-yard line, leading 28-14 in the second quarter. This is Bobby Humphrey. Boy, is he having a day, huh? My goodness, he's up to the 45. That's a 7-yard pickup. Humphrey has carried 13 times in the first half, picked up 110 yards.
Well, if you're on defense, you're saying, is that 26 back there or 22? And somebody turns and says, who cares? They're both having big days. They're fast, and they're getting through us.
Right. Jelks has 75 yards on 11 carries. Second down and 3. This time Humphrey is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Mike Whitehead, middle guard, a junior from Americus, Georgia. And he put his hat one on his numbers.
Bobby Humphrey gained over 7,000 yards as a high school player, and you can only speculate on how good he can become.
Third down and 4 now. Shula back to throw. Passes away. Al Bell sees it for the first time. Makes the catch. First down, Alabama. Tennessee 42.
Kenny Donahue, the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, who did such a sensational job last year, puts in a very aggressive defense, gambles quite a bit, likes to blitz. That time they had man coverage, and you can't guard him man-to-man. They also sent Humphrey out to clear out, not a pick, but it sure was a clear out that took the corner and sent Bell underneath of it.
Of course, they tease you with Bell before they ever give it to him. This is Bo Wright, big hole. First down, Alabama, inside the 30 and the 29. And Bo Wright may have taken a hold of that starting fullback job.
This is a guy that's played 3 different positions at Alabama. I think he's finally found a home. He's a little guy. He gets lost behind the big ones. He's only 5'11", but he's powerful. See how low he stays to the ground? And after he's hit once, then he even gets lower.
Bill Condon, 77. Watch him. To took the man right out of it. Handoff goes to Bo Wright again, and Wright, finding not much outside, cut it back inside and picked up about 5 yards. Well, we'll find out something, won't we, next Monday night when the Denver Broncos play the New York Jets. Broncos are undefeated at 6-0. Jets 5-1. Should be a tremendous game, 9 o'clock Eastern time. It's a short 5. The ball just short off the Tennessee 24. 5:15 to go first half. Right again. 2 yards that time. The biggest crowd they have ever had at Neyland Stadium was last year, Vanderbilt in Tennessee, 97,372. But this 95-plus bunch today will get into the top 10 in all-time attendance marks.
Well, you know, I can't help but think back to that replay we just showed of Condon. Just standing the man straight up. I don't care how big you are. Once you stand him up, you can control him. Condon, one of the strongest men on the offensive line. He squats 606 pounds.
Bobby Humphrey, the tailback, does contact along the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down and about 2. Jimmy Harper against Alabama. Greg Richardson comes into the lineup now for the Tide, and Angelo Stafford goes out at tight end.
Dead ball, false start on the offense.
And Alabama looking at 3rd down and about 7. Just inside the Tennessee 27.
It's a big break for Tennessee now. This is a big 3rd down play.
They're going to send Richardson and Bell out here together. Bottom of the picture. That's double trouble.
Here comes Jones, too.
They go the other way to Humphrey. First down, breaks it. Touchdown, Alabama. Greg Richardson made a key block to get him in the end zone as he took Terry McDaniel, Tennessee quarterback, out of the play.
Boy, you can say what you want, but here's a guy that's fundamentally sound. That play is made by Shula. He looked down, he saw Dale Jones line up on the other side, get down. He's in a 3-point stance. He was going to blitz, so they came the other way, ran away from him, and it was all clear. The alley was there.
And Tiffin's extra point is good. And even 4 minutes to go in the first half. And Alabama jumps out to a 35-14 lead.
I've been shot at, shot up, and shot down. So I don't take chances on anything. I won't touch a filter that isn't from AC. Why mess with air filters that can't go for up to 30,000 miles? Or oil filters that can't deliver up to 15,000? For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC Delco. If you put your muscle into a job, use your head and do it with AC Delco.
Power your business software into a new dimension with the Tandy 3000 computer. Important data is only milliseconds away from an advanced 286 microprocessor that delivers high-speed performance and PC compatibility. You can add up to 12 million bytes of memory and expand by sharing that power with others in your office. Discover the Tandy 3000 family of value-priced business computers at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Valvoline Motor Oil, where motor oil is not just motor oil. And by Radio Shack, the computer experts.
Alabama possessions, touchdown, 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 punt, touchdown, touchdown, 35-14. Just when Tennessee made a threat to get back into the hunt at 21-14, the Tides opened it up again. And Tiffin kicks off to Anthony Miller. He wanted to let it go out of bounds. It looked like it was going to, but it bounced straight ahead and into the end zone, and Tennessee will have it at their own 20. Here's Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, you mentioned that there's an attendance record of sorts here, actually the second highest attendance in Tennessee history. One day they'll have a chance to set an attendance record. The University of Tennessee is second behind only to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. In about 1990, they're going to add another 10,000 stands in the south end zone. Then Neyland Stadium will really be something else. It's something special already.
First down from the 20, Francis. Back to throw. Gets it down the middle. He's got the tight end, Hendricks. And Hendricks has got a first down out at the 39. A pickup of 19 yards. Kermit Kendrick brought him down.
Well, he's their possession-type receiver. They've got to get the ball to him more. He's 6'5", 232 pounds. You see, he just comes down and just clears the safety, comes into the zone and finds the seam, and they hit him. Best part about Tim Hendricks is he's very effective inside or outside.
Bando Davis. And the Wilmington, Delaware native son comes on up across the 40 to about the 43. Francis in the ball game, 8 of 11 or 142 and a touchdown. Time remaining in the first half against Army last week, a game Tennessee lost on a block punt late. He was over 300 yards. Well, he's checking off again. Three-man front right now for Alabama. They go the other way with Bando Davis, and there's nothing there. Alabama came out with the ball, but it's Cornelius Bennett getting a free canter.
Cornelius has fun playing football, I'll tell you that. He even acts like a pro. He didn't talk to the media for 3 weeks. They said he was hot dogging it, so he says, all right, I'll show you what a hot dog is. I won't talk to you.
I can understand that. Third down and 6. Francis back. Dumps it off. It's short of a first down to Keith Davis. It's the second time we have seen that play, and this time Davis is knocked out with some authority, a yard short of the first down. Jim Lampley will update you with scores and highlights. Tim McCarver will check in from Shea Stadium, where the World Series begins tonight. And we'll go over the highlights, though I don't know if we'll have time to cover all the scoring.
May have to hold them an extra 20 minutes. It's fourth down, and I think Tennessee's going for it. They are.
Might as well. Fourth down and a yard. Keith Davis hit behind the line of scrimmage, fighting back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He is stopped. Wayne Davis, number 58, that inside backer, came firing through and knocked him off balance, and he could never get any momentum, and he comes up short, and Alabama owns the football at the Tennessee 48.
Now, Keith Davis is playing with an injured knee. We didn't even know if he'd be in the ball game. As a matter of fact, they say the knee probably needs surgery. He says, I'm scared to death about surgery. Let me try to rehabilitate it first. You can see the big knee brace he's wearing on his right leg, and he's stumbling from the get-go. There's no chance that he's going to get a first down right there. They should have just loaded up, powered ahead, and gone for that yard straight ahead.
Now, with 1:55 to go, Alabama's got a chance to put some more points on the board. Getting possession at the Tennessee 48. We're up to our elbows in volunteers this week, and Tim McCarver, though not a volunteer as such, but a native son of Memphis. Nebraska rolling big today, 41-3, and Oklahoma State giving Oklahoma all they want in that old traditional out in the plains. Auburn continuing undefeated. USC and Arizona State playing today out west.
I didn't know if you were going to make this ball game. The way that last National League playoff game was going, I thought you'd still be sitting there calling it.
All right, it's Jelks and Doug Allen now in at fullback for Alabama. Shula fakes it to Al Bell, looks for Richardson, goes for Jelks instead, and Gene can't get to it. So the pass is incomplete. That's a rundown we told you about a while ago on Alabama's possession. Of course, they have had pretty good field position, haven't they?
Nonetheless, they've been authoritative in the ground they've covered.
Certainly have. Second down and 10 for the Tide. Jelks is out now. Angelo Stafford comes in, an extra tight end, leaving Doug Allen the lone back, and Doug's got the ball. And knocked out of bounds at the 44. So he gained 4 yards.
Doug Allen is just back from a knee problem. He's been out for several weeks because of a badly injured knee. It's good to see him get back in the line. Well, that's the worst thing you could possibly have is a knee injury in football. Consequently, it's the weakest joint on the body's strongest limb. I may upset a few people by saying it, but artificial surface is very tough on the legs to play on.
Bobby Humphrey is back in. He's got 148 yards in this first half on 16 carries. Don Shula looking around at the Tennessee set, looking at the people he's got on the field offensively, and he doesn't like it. So he spends a timeout to talk about it, and we'll have a visit to the Tennessee campus.
The University of Tennessee, a place where learning can move in as many directions as you care to take, in a form clearly aimed at seeking new choices, that examines new definitions and gives shape to your personal future. Whether you see yourself in the sciences or the arts, at Tennessee, we want to put you in touch with the special view you hold. This is Tennessee, a place where you can shape your future.
Knoxville, of course, had the World's Fair here a few years ago. And their Sun Sphere still stands tall among the buildings in the city, just over behind the stadium. For Alabama, it's 3rd and 6 now. A lot of time, 1:51. Mike Shula back. He's got all day, and finally it takes off and runs for the first down. Inside the 35 to the 32.
Boy, Mike Shula is smart, he's composed, he's well-schooled in the fundamentals, he's innovative, he's elusive. But the most important element is he is surrounded by talent, and he is a leader, and he doesn't make many mistakes in critical situations like that one.
Give you an idea of how dominant Alabama has been in this first half. They have 290 yards rushing to 51 to Tennessee. Bobby Humphrey goes in motion, and the officials stop him before the snap.
But, Keith, we said coming in, Tennessee had to throw to be successful.
Delay of the game on offense.
I've been looking around for the last 20 minutes trying to find, oh, there it is, tucked way back in the crowd. I don't know. I guess you could see it from the field, the 25-second clock. There it is, but it's kind of tucked away.
You know, Tennessee was having some problems getting out, getting the play called, and getting the play off at the line of scrimmage, so they had a brand new clock put on the practice field this week. And they worked with a clock out on the practice field.
All right, it's first down and 15. Shula's pass down the middle. Bell. No good. Tried to curl his body back to get it. The pass was just a little short, but he was open. With a score of 35-14, Johnny Majors now has taken off the headset and all the umbilical cords to the coaches upstairs, and he started prowling the sideline.
Well, he's got 1:37 remaining in the half, and he wants to get that quick jump to the locker room. He's got a lot to talk about.
Second down and 15. Humphrey.
I tell you, I hope he's been taking notes, though.
He has. I saw him writing a while ago. It's a gain of 6 that time for Humphrey.
He needs an outline.
pretty tough football team down there on that field wearing white.
Boy, to make matters worse, they come into the ball game mad. They haven't won here. Haven't beaten Tennessee in 4 times.
3rd down and 9. Shula going down the middle for Howard Cross, the tight end. Touchdown, Alabama. It's Stafford, Angelo Stafford, who makes the catch, number 86.
Boy, I tell you, we talked about it, though, Keith. You know, this is a gambling-type defense, and they come with the blitz. Anytime there's a blitz, there's man-to-man coverage. And when you get coverage and you have a big guy like Stafford back there, look, his stride, 2 steps and he's covering 5 yards, and he's going to get by the little defensive backs.
Stafford is 6'5", as is Cross. But Stafford a little lighter at 195 and gets his first touchdown of the season. The extra point kick is good. And with 52 seconds to go in the first half, it is 42-14 Alabama, and 6 different Alabama players have scored.
And when you talk to the Tennessee players and you say, what's gone wrong with this team this year, especially defensively, they say, well, we're an aggressive defense. We've been gambling a lot. People now know that we're going to blitz, we're going to gamble, and they're catching us in situations that are critical, like this one. Man-to-man coverage down deep. Angelo Stafford, the guy you're not really expecting to have the football. I mean, everybody's watching Bell. They're watching Richardson. Why worry about the tight end? Alabama doesn't throw there very often. Howard Cross has only had 2 catches all year, so now they go to Stafford, and he sneaks right down the middle. Anytime you're in a 2-deep zone, the middle is vulnerable. Anytime you're in a man-to-man situation, it's up to the receiver to beat him. That time, Stafford beat him decisively.
Yeah, but one of those 2 catches by Cross went for a touchdown. Well, he's caught 4, actually, and one of those went for a touchdown in the Notre Dame game. So they don't use the tight end that much, as Tim said, but when they do, he oftentimes walks into the bank. And Tiffin kicking off again. He's going to have a sore leg. Hooks it to the left side, and that one is out of bounds. So it'll cost him 5, and he'll kick it again from the 30. Penn State and Alabama next Saturday. That will be one of the highlight games of the season because the Nittany Lions won big today, and they come rolling in undefeated. And right now you would have to surmise that Alabama has a better than even chance to go in undefeated at home against Penn State. I guess the last time they got together down there was, what, 6-0 ball game, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you what, though, this is an Alabama team that has not made a mistake today, hasn't done anything, hasn't shown any weaknesses. And then, of course, you know, Joe Paterno, he always has his team ready. Somebody asked me yesterday, they said, how good do they look? I said, I'm not so sure they ever look good. They just win.
This time it's a high hanger. Anthony Miller comes out to his 14 to take it. Pops it up to about the 39-yard line. Mike Shula is going to the clubhouse. They're holding the right arm of Shula. And it may be a burn or it might be an injury. We'll try to check it as best we can.
Oh, no, that could make a difference in the Alabama season.
Could it ever? The Tide offense, 375 yards here in the first half. From the 38, that's where they mark it. Jeff Francis with 46 seconds. Back to throw. He's got Miller on a fly, goes underneath, and the pass is caught by Hendricks trying to get out of bounds.
I don't think he did. Clock's still running.
Now they call time. They've got 1 timeout remaining.
Alabama was in a prevent defense, had only 3 guys rushing the football. Everybody else was playing very loose, taking away the long, deep passes. So instead, Tennessee went underneath. But he has got to get to that sideline and stop the clock. And he didn't.
Again, Mike Shula has gone to the clubhouse. He's in the locker room with the doctors and the trainer.
I'm sure Mike Adams was following him in, too.
Mike, do you have anything on it?
Play before the touchdown pass, Shula was scrambling out of bounds. He was taken pretty hard down to the turf, and he grabbed his right arm there. Not sure the trainers aren't if he jammed his shoulder or if it was. It's definitely not a turf burn. It's something that could be a little more serious than that. And again, we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to check a little bit more in the locker room.
All right, Mike, thank you. Second down and 2 for Tennessee from the 46. Francis gets it off, bounces it in front of Charles Wilson, and it's incomplete. And the reason he bounced it was he heard, I'm sure, the pounding hooves of Cornelius Bennett coming from the other way. Tennessee's picked up 206 yards in this first half. It's been a wide-open offensive ball game to this point. Right now, Alabama's got a big lead of 28 points, 42-14. Third down and 2. Francis' pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage. Slapped down by Cornelius Bennett.
He almost intercepted it. I can't remember seeing a linebacker with as much agility as he has. He's acrobatic. I think he could play any one of the 22 positions on a football field. Watch this now, in the left part of your screen. Here comes the pass. Here comes Cornelius Bennett. Now he's going after it. Well, he was 2 yards shy, but he was heading in the right direction.
Though, when he deflected it, both hands. Asman is in now to punt in relief of Garman, who pulled a hamstring in the warm-up. He at the first and 40. There's nobody back to accept it for Alabama. The ball's going to roll around and roll back on inside the 10-yard line, but it's a relatively academic point at this time in the first half. The clock stops at 8 seconds to go. That was a 47-yard punt. What were the rolls? Now, who comes out at quarterback for Alabama? Should be David Smith.
David Smith, a sophomore out of Gadsden, Alabama, 6 foot, 172 pounds. His most playing time that he's had was in the alumni game. He was 9 of 21 for 63 yards and 2 interceptions.
Well, if you've got to give the backup quarterback some playing time with a 42-14 halftime lead, it's not a bad place to do it, is it?
And don't forget, they also have Vince Sutton on the bench. Vince Sutton started against Tennessee here in Knoxville the last time the Alabama Crimson Tide came into this park.
That snap ends the first half of play. So after 30 minutes, Alabama dominating, leading 42-14 over Tennessee.
At Raytheon Company, we believe that success comes from mastering the fundamentals. That's why we admire people like Larry Bird, people who are dedicated to perfecting the fundamentals, practicing them time and time again until they become flawless. So whether it's in electronics, aviation, appliances, or energy, Raytheon works hard on the fundamentals, because at Raytheon, we believe quality starts with fundamentals.
The game that counts, the pressure mounts, the kickoff's almost here. Right now, all the way. Now you're talking football. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Eugene Hassenfuss. His background remains a mystery. We'll try to figure out who he works for and what he was trying to accomplish Monday on World News Tonight.
Get in, Trevino. Ooh, you folks know how to get a guy's chili hot. Hey, Lee, what are you going to use? My favorite iron. Oh. Really know your gasoline, huh, Lee? Golf, I know. Gasoline, my car knows.
Quiet, please. New Amoco Ultimate Premium, the engine cleaning gasoline for pure power and performance. Your car knows.
Lee, can you believe this crowd? I guess they just like to watch me drive.
New Amoco Ultimate, your car knows.
Do you want to know why Guy Hunt has refused to release his tax returns or debate his opponent? Well, according to sworn statements Guy Hunt filed with the Ethics Commission, even though his salary is less than $20,000 a year, he's in debt between $250,000 and $750,000. Is it any wonder the Republicans don't want you to see Guy Hunt's tax returns or let him debate his opponent? Mr. Hunt, you've got a lot of explaining to do.
Channel 31, Huntsville.
The Halftime Report is brought to you by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the rock, it's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
I can't promise you everything in college football today has been as wild as the first half of Alabama and Tennessee, but there are a lot of interesting things going on, including a 10-10 tie between 8th-rated Iowa and 4th-ranked Michigan in Ann Arbor. Michigan down 10-3 at halftime has just tied it on a Jim Harbaugh to Gerald White 25-yard touchdown pass. Meanwhile, Notre Dame stopped Air Force's 4-game winning streak over the Irish, winning 31-3. It was 3-0 Air Force early, and then Notre Dame's Tim Brown, called all year by Lou Holtz the best athlete on his team, took the kickoff following the Air Force field goal, and Brown settled in at his 5-yard line, gathered himself, and then set sail for 95 yards up the middle against the Air Force, and that put Notre Dame on top 7-3. Later there was a Berline touchdown run, and John Carney tied Dave Reeves' career field goal record at Notre Dame with his 39th, a 31-3 win for the Irish. Nebraska now cruising 41-3 over Missouri in the fourth quarter in a mismatch. Oklahoma has struggled somewhat, but has a Lasher field goal in every quarter and leads Oklahoma State 12-0 fourth quarter. No bad weather, just a flat day for the Sooners so far. Penn State, 6 rushing touchdowns against the nation's worst rushing defense, 42-3 win over Syracuse. The last time Syracuse beat Penn State, Davy Johnson was playing second base for the Orioles in the World Series on the way to a World Championship in 1970. Auburn leads Georgia Tech 31-10 in the fourth quarter, with new War Eagle 6 on the sideline for Auburn, which had played for 5 games without its War Eagle mascot. Southern Cal with a 3-3 tie with Arizona State in the first quarter. Arizona State coach John Cooper told his players this week, "You are Southern Cal rejects." Right now, the rejects are tied up with the real item. Bowling Green at Washington, it is 31-0 Washington in the second quarter. Baylor at Texas A&M. Baylor jumped out 17-0. Since then, Texas A&M has gotten a touchdown pass from Murray and a Murray touchdown run, and it is 17-14 in the second quarter. First home sellout at Kyle Field against a team other than Texas since the Upper Deck was put in 1980. That's how enthusiastic Aggie fans are about their team. But Randy Rutledge with a 52-yard TD reception put Baylor on top 7-0 in the first quarter. Later, Matt Clark had a 2-yard run. And you're going to see here the option play with Carlson as he ran the ball down very, very deep into Aggie territory to set up that 2-yard touchdown run by Clark. It was 14-0, then 17-0 Baylor. This is the team that lost to SMU a week ago in what is turning out to be perhaps the most topsy-turvy league in the country. Trailing 17-0. Texas A&M came back with this 62-yard pass from Murray to Rod Harris that set up Murray's touchdown pass to Rod Bernstein, and then Kevin ran one in himself at 17-14. UCLA at Cal after a freaky week for Cal coach Joe Kapp. It is 13-3 Bruins in the second quarter. North Carolina and North Carolina State played a heart-stopper, State winning at 35-34. It was 28-28 in the fourth quarter. Less than 2 minutes to go. A game in which both quarterbacks, Eric Kramer and Mark May, getting his first start ever for Carolina, had brilliant performances. You see the time in the fourth quarter, less than a minute and a half to go, as a matter of fact, when the play began, and turned out to be a 37-yard TD from Kramer to Nasrallah Worthen. That made it 35-28. But May, on 4 straight completions, brought the Tar Heels back down the field and hit Quint Smith with that touchdown pass to make it 35-34. Dick Crum's an unusual guy. You're about to see an unusual call on the 2-point play. A screen pass. Smith was tripped up coming out of the backfield. His knee hit the turf as he caught the ball. No 2-pointer. Victory for North Carolina State. Later today, James Worthy and Michael Jordan are back on campus as the Bulls play the Lakers in an exhibition at the Dean Dome. Clemson beat Duke 35-3 after last night's pep rally with more than 40,000 in attendance. Georgia beat Vanderbilt 38-16, 112 yards rushing and 3 TDs for Lars Tate. In the Meadowlands, Florida beat Rutgers 15-3, a 100-yard game for Florida freshman Octavius Gould, first Gator to rush for 100 this year. Michigan State snapped Mike White's 6-game winning streak against the Spartans. Playing without Lorenzo White, the Spartans beat the Illini 29-21. Houston and SMU leading 7-3 in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes remaining. Minnesota beat Indiana 19-17 on a field goal by Chip Lohmiller, his 4th of the day, with only 2 seconds remaining on the clock. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's a jungle. That's how it feels when you're searching for life insurance. The natives don't speak your language. You feel lost, in the dark, scared. But there is a sign of civilization. With Prudential, your agent will explain things clearly and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you feel comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
An investment firm is only as impressive as it is responsive.
Good to go.
So when interest rates fell, we looked for new ways for our clients to make money and developed unique opportunities like the Prudential Real Estate Investment Trust, a first of its kind in a way to take advantage of changing markets. While others may imitate it, we're busy surpassing it. If anyone can show you bold new thinking in the business of making money, let's close it. It's Prudential Bache, rock solid, market-wise.
Alabama quarterback Mike Shula joins the fight against drugs.
You know, I've been around football all my life, and I've learned a lot of things from both the experiences of others and myself. Now, while I've been in college, I've learned that things don't always go your way. And when they don't, the answer is not to turn to drugs. I've always been taught to think before I act. And I really believe that if you do think about it, you'll realize that drugs are not the answer.
The preceding brought to you by the College Football Association.
Last week, Temple's Paul Palmer rushed for 349 yards against East Carolina. Today against Virginia Tech, 44 carries, 239 yards, and a touchdown. First runner in the college ranks this season to go over 1,000 yards for the season as Temple beat Virginia Tech 29-13, and the Owls may be headed for a bowl. Meanwhile, Holy Cross beat Army 17-14, and it was another splendid day for their outstanding player, Gordon Lockbaum, the two-way back who had 10 carries, 4 receptions, 3 kickoff returns, and about a dozen tackles in the game today. It's an extraordinary story, and I went to Worcester, Mass. this week.
In the tradition of most Roman Catholic universities, Holy Cross's athletic past is more prominent than its present. Before most of us were born, the Crusaders were a significant football power who reached their high-water mark in the days of Bullet Bill Osmanski, class of 1940, later one of the stars of the Chicago Bears team that beat the Redskins 73-0. And the school's imprint on college basketball was embodied in one of the greatest players ever to pull on a jersey, the incomparable Bob Cousy, who coincidentally wore number 17. Coincidence, because this year athletic glory has returned to Worcester, Massachusetts in the person of another number 17, football star Gordon Lockbaum. As tailback on offense, Lockbaum is the heart of the Crusaders' attack, and with 11 touchdowns, the leading scorer in Division I AA. As a cornerback and safety on defense, the unbeaten team's big play defender. In an era of extreme specialization, Gordon Lockbaum is special. Apparently, the only Division I football player who regularly starts for his team on both sides of the ball.
It gets pretty hectic at times because I come out sometimes. At first, I came out to practice a few times with the wrong jersey on, or I didn't bring my other jersey because they wanted me to carry both jerseys out to the practice field.
The routine is head spinning. Monday, practice with the purple-shirted offense. Tuesday, a different jersey and a practice on the opposite side of the ball. Wednesday, back with the offense. Thursday, the key day of the football week, the day...
Sports.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting, and by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
Again, in case you were out when we told you, Mike Shula has had the bandage put on and some stitches in the right elbow where he had a cut. And he's warmed up and he's ready to play in the second half as Alabama will kick off to Tennessee. Anthony Miller is the deep man. 42-14 ball game. The Tide are rolling in the first half. And once again, Van Tippen has a high hanging kick down there. The coverage is normally very good with an Alabama team when you have that kind of high hanging kick. In case you wonder where Al Trautwig is, this is his best seat in the house today. He's in Hawaii, where he is covering the triathlon. Now, where he is supposed to be covering the triathlon. From that picture, I'm not so sure. So we have the pleasure of the company of Mike Adamle with us today. And Tennessee comes out. First down, just outside their own 28. First down. They need a lot of points in a hurry. Jeff Francis back will throw on first down. Goes underneath for his tight end and misses him. No, it isn't either. It's Vando Davis coming out of the backfield. And he missed him. The stats at halftime.
295 yards rushing in the left-hand column of Alabama. Now, Bobby Humphrey, 154 yards and 17 carries. Gene Jelks, 71 yards and 11 carries. Then you come down that right-hand column again. We told you about the 2 Tennessee turnovers.
We got holding on the defensive team before the ball was thrown to be automatic first down.
So Tennessee gets a break early. But those 2 turnovers set the tempo and helped make it a 21-0 Alabama lead. Tennessee fumbled in its first 2 possessions.
Now coming onto the field is Thomas Woods, another redshirt first freshman from Gallatin, Tennessee, for the Volunteers. And with the penalty, the ball moves out to the 39. That is the 7th penalty flag on Alabama today. Francis pitches the ball back to Vando Davis, and he's got some daylight around the corner, crossing midfield and getting to the Alabama 49 before Kermit Kendrick brings him down. The individual stats.
Sewell, a 3 for 5, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. We told you he had stitches in his right arm. He's a left-handed passer. And then Francis. Jeff Francis had a fine first half. 10 of 15, 155 yards, no interceptions, and a touchdown. Here are the defensive tackles, but I want you to look at down the bottom. Cornelius Bennett, 3 tackles. He had a whole lot of hurries, though.
Francis goes down the middle. This time it's the tight end Hendricks, and him goes way up to pull it down at the Alabama 29, and another Volunteer first down. So the Vols have come out storming here in the second half.
No question but the fact that Tennessee has a lot of good young talent. They just have to gain confidence. They have to hit this critical situations. They've got to come back now. Again, we told you the tight end is the possession receiver. He's been successful against Alabama. They've got to continue to go to him.
Vando Davis again cuts it back inside and picks up about 3 yards on that carry. Keith Davis comes in now. He's a little quicker out of that tailback spot.
You could see a little bit of the inexperience in Vando Davis on that last run. The hole was there, but he was indecisive. By the time he cut up into the hole, it was already closed.
Davis gives the ball to Miller. Miller's being chased by Cornelius Bennett and decked all the way back on the 43-yard line.
There is nothing like him. He is chasing a sprinter. Miller is a sprinter, and he's tiny, and he's fast. And here comes Cornelius Bennett, comes back after him. Now, we showed you he didn't have many tackles in the first half, but of the 2 tackles he had by himself, one was a sack, one was a forced fumble, a lot of hurries where Francis hurried his throw out of rhythm, and he had countless times when the Tennessee team went the other way.
That's a loss of 15 yards. And the pass is away underneath to Keith Davis, and Davis is caught and brought down at the 36 by Greg Gilbert, a linebacker that was filling that zone defensively for the Tide. And now Tennessee, with that big loss, sends in Carlos Rivez. Boy, this is man-sized. 43-yard line. It's a 53-yard field goal attempt. That would match his longest effort. And there isn't much wind that's a factor inside this huge bowl. 53-yard field goal try by Rivez. He's got enough leg, but it didn't hook for him. It stayed to the right, and he misses from 53 yards, and the score remains the same.
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training
Are there any openings in communications?
is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
We'll see you after graduation.
Find your future in the arts.
Congratulations.
You're invited to a groundbreaking. The new Nissan Pathfinder 4x4. Now there's Pathfinder's off-road ruggedness, 3-liter V6 power, 235 tires, and extra-long wheelbase. Now there's Pathfinder's civilized ride, cabin-adjustable coil spring suspension, and rich interior. Nissan Pathfinder. Now the adventure begins. The breakthrough is Pathfinder. The name is Nissan.
the Denver Broncos. Quarterback John Elway has their offense going full steam ahead, but the New York Jets plan to derail the Bronco Express on ABC's Monday Night Football.
With the miss by Rivez from 53, Alabama takes over the ball. First down at their own 36. Mike Shula comes out at quarterback with a single back offense for Alabama. Bo Wright. Double wide with Richardson and Bell. Greg has not caught a ball today, and the ball is given to Wright, and oh my goodness. Bo had a mile to run, but he expected contact, didn't get it, lost his balance, and he fell down up on the 43.
You're looking at the bandage on Shula's arm, but you know, Keith, you've seen a lot of guys stumble today. This is a brand new rug, brand new artificial turf here at Neyland Stadium in Tennessee. And when you have that new rug, it's not worn down. You have to exaggerate your steps. Consequently, a lot of guys stumble and trip their way through it.
They stay in the single back, and Bo Wright picks up the first down as he bangs his way up to about the 47. On that previous play, you saw Wes Neighbors really opening the hole for Wright. And I'll tell you, Wes Neighbors, who is right now down on the field and shaken up on the play. That's Neighbors who's down, son of Billy, who was a great player himself.
You know, he's a big, tough, and durable guy. He started 38 of a possible 39 games at Alabama, and that's not a receiver who's not involved with every play. That's right in the middle of the mess, down there bumping and grinding with the big boys.
If you own a house, you got to own a shop vac. This baby's got the power to pick up almost anything.
Got broken glass, nails, or wood chips. Shop vac gobbles up stuff that would kill an ordinary vacuum. And a shop vac retro can even vacuum water like a flooded basement. The washing machine is flooding the house.
No.
Every house needs a shop vac. Starting at under $50, a shop vac is heavy duty, not heavy money. And remember, if it doesn't say shop vac, keep shopping.
All over the country, people are learning about the new Nissan 200SX. They're examining the many important design changes on the outside. But more, they're experiencing the one important change on the inside. The new fuel-injected overhead cam V6. It's America's new Super Coupe. And it's just waiting to change your attitude. The quality and power is 200SX. The name is Nissan.
A battle of the unbeatens. Alabama is second-ranked in the nation. Paterno's Penn State squad is number 5. Coverage begins with College Football Today, next Saturday.
It's the right ankle of Wes Neighbors they're working on. He got up and walked off the field all right. Let's go back to the play and see how he has sustained the injury. The right ankle.
Middle of your screen, number 54. You see them roll over on that ankle? Oh, there's a lot of weight coming in on that. He is the anchor on that tied front wall.
Mike Zuga, a freshman from Noonan, Georgia, comes in. He's a mere 240 at the center position. And Mike Shula on first down, sets to throw, gets it away, intended for Greg Richardson, and a little too high for a 5'9" receiver out there. Penalty flag on the field, and they continue to look at that right ankle of Wes Neighbors.
You could see it was taped too, Keith. I mean, it was taped from the get-go. Of Wes Neighbors. And they can't afford to lose him the week prior to Penn State.
Holding on the offensive line, 10 yards. First down.
So Alabama makes another mistake here in the second half, and that'll back them up. They move back to their own 38. They've got to go to the Tennessee inside the Tennessee 43 to get a first down. First down, Shula gives the ball to Gene Jelks. Coming over the right side, Jelks moves it out to the 42.
You know,
Michigan now has come to take the lead in the fourth quarter against Iowa.
You know what was fun on that last play was watching the center that came in to replace Wes Neighbors. It's Mike Zuga. He's just a freshman, 6'3", 238 pounds, and he took the middle guard and put him on his back. We used to call that a pancake.
Max probably got it jacked up a little bit, getting a chance to play early on in the ball game. Second down, fake. Shula goes the other way. Keeps it himself and gets it up to the 49-yard line before he is thrown down. So the Tide will be looking at third down and 8. Kelly Ziegler made that hit for Tennessee. Rushing yards today for Alabama, 318 so far, and we've got 10.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Back in 1973, Alabama ran for 748 yards against Virginia Tech.
That's a season for a lot of clubs.
Third down and 8. Shula's pass intended for Al Bell is knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Fred Bennett. And he's another player for Tennessee from Pritchard, Alabama. They must have a pretty good high school program in Pritchard, Alabama.
Watch this freshman. Middle of your screen, number 53. That's Zuga again. Came in for West Neighbors. Just get that middle guard. Of course, his hands are wrapped around him. Looks like an old-fashioned dance. Let him go, though, seeing his hands got out and knocked the ball down.
All right, the punt by Chris Moore. Spins it to Kramer at the 14. It's back to about the 22 before he is brought down. So with 9:49 to go, Alabama has a holding call. Tennessee holds Alabama and forces the punt.
Mr. Goodwrench knows your car's engine is an inferno of heat and friction. 100, 200 piston strokes of engine wear per second. It needs the life-saving fluid that protects it right. GM Goodwrench Motor Oil. Takes the friction, takes the heat. It's everything General Motors asks for in a fine motor oil. Get it from Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
You know, the weirdest things happen to me, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, here I am stocking up for Halloween. I got my steaks, got my ribs. Then when I ask the stock boy where the Coors Light is stacked, he points me to the Coors and Coors Light Halloween display, and I'm on it. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Look for it where you buy beer. I shop here because they slash prices. There goes another one. Happy Halloween, darling.
You see anything?
For MacGyver's Richard Dean Anderson and Valerie Bertinelli. The battle begins at home. Ordinary Heroes Sunday.
Hello again. Final score in Penn Navy, 30-26 Penn. To our nearest knowledge here in the post-game operation, this is the first time an Ivy League team has beaten a Division 1A team since 1983 when Harvard beat Army. One other final score, Boston College rolling to a 41-7 win over Louisville. Troy Stratford, healthy for the first time all year, rushed for over 170 yards. Keith?
Okay, Jim. Here, the line score in the ball game as we wait to the third quarter for Tennessee. That's Smokey, the blue tick hound, the official mascot of the Volunteers. Jeff French is back to pass. That's it. Go big for Anthony Miller. He's got it. Boy, he is spectacular. He is caught and brought down by Britton Cooper, and Britton was all over him. And he still made the catch, and it's Tennessee first down at the Alabama 25.
Jeff Francis is impressive. When he throws the ball, it's a tight spiral with a lot of velocity. But look at this. Miller, again, runs by the cornerback on that side, and it's just flat-out speed. See, it looks like it's man coverage. And he doesn't try to be deceptive, doesn't try a hook, doesn't fake the outside move. It's a fly pattern. He outruns it for 55 yards.
Keith Davis in the backfield for Tennessee, and Keith Davis is belted down. The chain gang got tangled up with some cables on the side, and they're still struggling trying to get the chains in place, and they run a play.
We've been talking about the impressive Alabama statistics all day. Look at that from Miller. 4 catches, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Can't get better than that.
Second down, about 11 for the Volunteers. Miller and Davis in the backfield for Tennessee. Francis swings it out to Davis. A couple of blocks to spring him. And he's close to his first down. He butted heads with Derek Thomas. And they tumbled out right about the marker at the 15. Auburn winning by 21 today, and Arizona State out over USC in Washington, jumping over Bowling Green, while UCLA leads comfortably at halftime. A wild one today in Chapel Hill. They bring the chains all the way across the field. Looks like the ball is on the 15, and if it is, it should be a first down. No, not quite. I think the chain guys, they missed one play. They were so late getting there. I'm not sure about the accuracy of that mark. And Smokey has a look at it and not pleased with what he saw.
He looks bored.
Now this noise. I guarantee you run a rabbit across the field or you see him. Third down at about a foot. Charles Wilson has the first down as he gets inside the Alabama 14, where Cliff Thomas, defensive tackle out of Pearl, Mississippi, brought him down.
Now you're in a 4-down area and things get interesting. They bring in Terrence Cleveland, a wide receiver, freshman. He can fly. They bring Miller back into the ball game. He's the guy that's having a big day, 154 yards receiving, number 7. And those are your two wide guys to the bottom of the screen.
First down, Alabama 14. Minutes after him, just missed him, and the pass is deflected and almost intercepted by Vantrese Davis, a freshman linebacker from Phoenix City. The pass intended for Cleveland, and Francis is very lucky to get that one back.
Well, I want to tell you something. If that ball is intercepted, they ought to put the interception in Cornelius Bennett's category, because look at him. Here comes Bennett around the outside. Nobody's going to stop him. They try to push him outside. Again, it's not a sack, but it's a hurry. Forced him out of his rhythm. He threw into coverage, and the ball was almost picked off.
He got a penalty flag on the play. 5 yards, 10 yards. Tennessee holding.
Holding, offensive line.
Vando Davis comes out. Keith Davis goes back in. No relation. Keith's from Nashville and Vando's from Wilmington, Delaware. Jim Miller is in. Ball on the 24. Jeff Francis drops to throw it. Goes underneath with it. And Miller was breaking down the middle on a post pattern, but he chose the short man because he was running out of time, Terrence Cleveland.
Well, it gets you up close to the original line of scrimmage. They're still 2 yards, 3 yards back, but for Francis, that's 15 for 20 and 253 yards.
Not bad. When you're down 42-14. On second down, throwing again. Goes to Keith Davis, who's caught at the 12 and thrown down right about there. Chris Good got the first hit on him. Now they're going to be looking at third down. Make it the 11 of Alabama. They've got to go inside the 4 for their first down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The down and distance doesn't make much difference here. They're in the 4-down area. They've got to go for the first down here. Then they've got to go on 4th down as well, because a field goal won't help you a bit.
They shut out Clinkscale so far today. He's wide to the top of the picture. He goes inside. Terrence Cleveland, touchdown.
You know, Johnny Majors told us that he had a great recruiting year last year, and we're seeing that today. Cleveland is another freshman. They just keep bringing him in, and the freshmen keep producing. Here's number 4. See him slide under the coverage there? Everybody else went deep. The backs went with him. He slid underneath the coverage, caught the pass, and took it in.
Rivas for the extra point. Alabama's offside. The kick is good. Todd Richardson, the quarterback, trying to get an early break on it in an effort to block it. Got caught. At 6 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the third quarter, we've got a 42-21 ball game now. And they'll probably assess that 5 yards on the kickoff.
Penalized 5 yards, encroachment on the defense on the kickoff. The kick is good.
So Cleveland, they got preoccupied up there in that corner, though, with Clinkscales, and he took away the defender that ordinarily might have picked up Terrence Cleveland.
Well, that's exactly right. See, now you sent the wide receivers down deep into the end zone like they're going for the touchdown, take all the defensive backs and safeties to the outside third of the field in the end zone, and then just slip that little freshman underneath, and everybody says, don't worry about him. He's a freshman. Next thing you know, he's in the end zone. Touchdown.
Top ringing through the big old stadium. Kickoff from the 40 goes well back into the end zone. There'll be no return by Bobby Humphrey. The Denver Broncos and the New York Jets next Monday on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football presentation. Jets are 5-1. The Broncos are undefeated. Johnny Elway cranking up those Broncos. Yeah, it's a big ball game for both teams, and it could be a very revealing game.
There's the scoring and the scoring plays, and Terrence Cleveland. Well, we told you he was a freshman, and I said he was a freshman, but he's a redshirt freshman. And he had a great spring, and they say he's going to be the heir apparent to Tim McGee, who's now in the pros.
Gene Jelks is the tailback. Bo Wright, the fullback. Jelks with the ball. And the 170-pounder just splashes his way up near the 25. Or Fred Bennett brings him down. Wes Neighbors is back in the lineup for Alabama. Turned his man right out of there.
That's right. That's just fine. That's called a cutoff slot. Just took him out and rode him enough so the ball carrier could get by the hole.
Second down, 6. Jelks again, holds on the right side. And he's got a first down for Alabama as Terry McDaniel, the left side quarterback, made the hit on him. But the hole was there, and he is so quick. He's almost at the 34-yard line. Now he leaves, limping a little bit.
A lot of guys getting those little nicks, bumps, and bruises, and you don't want that the week before the Penn State game.
Humphrey back in there at tailback. And Bobby's out to the 43 before they ride him out. Not quite a first down, and again it's McDaniel making the first hit on him.
Keith, we'll get an update on Jelks, but right now I'll tell you that, he just came back off an injury. He got hurt about 3 weeks ago, injured his ankle, came back, started practicing, and that Monday hurt it again. Did not play against Notre Dame, did not play last week. And now he just limped off, and it could be that ankle again.
He did get his first down at the 44. Bo Wright, fullback, falls down just as he was breaking into the open. Little bump and lost his footing, and Terry McDaniel bumped him just enough. But Bo Wright almost had himself open side of the field.
It's happened several times to Bo Wright today. He's got to pick those feet up a little more. It looks like those white lines are jumping up and tripping him. Watch him come through now. He makes a great cut here to the outside. And once he gets out there, there's nobody there. It's a foot race. But he stumbles and trips and falls.
But he did get the first down at the Tennessee 41. Humphrey. And Bobby's inside the 35 to the 34, where Charles Davis finally stops it for Tennessee. 5:10 to play now in the third quarter, and Alabama leading 42-21. Tide led at halftime 42-14, jumped out to a 21-0 lead before Tennessee got itself organized, and part of that 21, in fact 2 of the touchdowns and the first 21 points resulted in Tennessee turnovers. Second down and 3. Bo Wright hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks the tackle, picks up the first down inside the 29 of Tennessee. Mike Adamle now.
Keith and Tim, we're going to tease you a little bit here right now. You meet the nicest people at the college football scene, and the guy sitting behind me is one of the nicest, a class act all the way. Won't tell you who he is until the next play. His initials, however, are CD. See if you can guess.
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie, you look great. I'd know him anywhere. First down. Humphrey picks up 3, maybe 4 on that carry. And let's go back now as Mike visits with Charlie.
Charlie, of course, the absolute master of that good old down-home country sound. And he's also a pretty big Tennessee Volunteer fan. His son, Charlie Jr., goes to school here in Tennessee. And I guess it's not so bad. 42-21, the game's been pretty entertaining.
Win, lose, or draw, they're my balls, and I love them, and I'll be here.
What's next for you? Any concerts coming up?
On my way to Charleston, South Carolina, as soon as the game's over, to do a concert down there.
No rest.
No rest. No rest for the wicked.
He looks pretty good, like a fox in a hen house here. Not a bad life, Keith.
He's also in the horse business. He's got quite a few horses. Runs a pretty good-sized farm. Bo Wright carrying the ball for Alabama. And it'll be third down now for the Tide. The football resting at the Tennessee 22. Bobby Humphrey really having a big day. Gene Jelks limping off the field. Possible ankle injury with 89 yards.
Talk about a stable of talent. That's impressive.
Third down and a long 3, close to 4. Shula gives it to Al Bell on the reverse. Bell breaks the tackle, and he knocked him out of bounds at the 8. He is really tough to get a handle on. There's Gene Jelks sitting on the bench now, but I'm always surprised how tough Bell is to get a hold of. Watch him come through this traffic.
Well, he's a preseason All-American, 6 feet, 170 pounds, tough body, soft hands, big play specialist. He averages almost 10 yards a catch. Matter of fact, this bears repeating. Last year he came up with a touchdown or first down almost every time he touched the football, and he loves that reverse, runs it well.
First down and goal, Alabama. They've got 21 first downs rushing the ball. Bobby Humphrey working his way to the 1. And it'll be second down and goal.
Keith, you know who Al Bell's boyhood hero was? Lynn Swann.
Yes, I know that.
Looks a little bit like him when he plays.
Well, he's out of Los Angeles. Grew up. Swanee was having his great career with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Baryshnikov and cleats.
I'll tell you one thing. If you want to be a wide receiver, that's not a bad model.
No, it's not.
In any sense. Personal or player. Second down and goal. Humphrey over the top, touchdown.
Truly a gifted athlete. Sprinter speed. Became the first freshman ever at Alabama to go over 100 yards rushing 2 consecutive games. Gained over 7,000 yards as a high school player. He says Marcus Allen is the pro he wants to be like. He, too, emulates him well.
Van Tippett. Good. With 2:10 to go in the third quarter now, it's 49-21 Alabama, and Alabama shows 400 yards on the ground.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
That's a Nissan Hardbody. It's got everything. It's his. It's got the big V6. Don't touch it.
Never seen bigger tires.
Don't kick them. rides high. That's some truck. Yeah.
For power and toughness in 4x4s, the name is Nissan.
A year ago, when Iowa beat Michigan 12-10, Hayden Fry called Bo Schembechler a crybaby for complaining about crowd noise in Iowa City. Well, there is crowd noise in Ann Arbor right now. After Michigan went ahead 17-10, Fry brought in his injured starting quarterback, Mark Vlasic. And Vlasic has hit Robert Smith with a touchdown pass to tie it at 17. 6 minutes to go. 4 of the last 6 games in the series have been decided by field goals. Keith?
Yeah. A little tension in that one. Not a whole lot of tension in this one right now. And you can see that Bobby Humphrey has a career high in rushing yards today, 182. Gene Jelks has ice on an ankle, so he may be gone for the day. Here's the kickoff by Van Tippen. He hooks it left and knocks it out of bounds. So that's the second time that he has kicked that ball out of bounds. That's that left ankle. That's the same one, Tim.
He has spent an awful lot of time in the whirlpool, and he's, you know, he knows better than anybody. He can't help the club in the tub, and it's frustrating for him because he's a fine running back. See his numbers there: 14 carries, 89 yards. He's been strong and impressive ever since he's gotten to Alabama, and this year that ankle has really caused him some frustration.
I think they would easily have had 2 backs over 100 yards in this ball game if Gene doesn't get hurt.
I agree with you. Couldn't agree with you more.
So they would have totaled somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, considering the numbers that Humphrey's hung up there right now. Here's the kickoff after the 5-yard penalty. Waiting is Miller. Takes it at the 7. Oh, he got a hole. He almost caught that thing. He is really fast. Got it back to the 39-yard line and took a pretty good lick at that point.
He's having a great day, isn't he?
He is. Well, if you're a wide receiver, this Tennessee's one of those schools where you know if you have that great speed that you're going to find a place and time to play. And young people come from around the country to play where they know they can with their particular tools. Keith Davis is the tailback now for the Vols. 49-21, Alabama leading late in the 3rd quarter. And Jeff Francis back to throw it. They gave him some open field, and he took it up to the 45. That's a pickup of 6 yards before Wayne Davis makes the tackle.
That's a good decision on Francis' part. Now, in the first half, he had that same situation. Instead, tried to force a pass into coverage instead of running the ball himself, and it was incomplete and almost intercepted. Now, the scouting report on Francis is strong arm, quick release, and he's accurate, but he needs to be more decisive, read quickly and react, and that time he did.
This went by the East Carolina beating Georgia Southern. That puts a crimp in Erk Russell's hopes for a rerun of a championship season for Georgia Southern in 1AA. Francis steps away from the pressure, gets his pass off, and it's caught at the 41 of Alabama by Joey Clinkscales. First catch of the day for Joey.
And it's a fine catch, Keith. You watch this now. Again, Francis shows his strong arm and whips it out there off balance. But I want you to watch Clinkscales now. He drives the defensive back off, makes contact, and then stops and comes back for the football right here. But watch what he does when the ball's out of it. Keeps his feet in bounds. He only needs 1, kept 2. Looked like old Raymond Berry making a catch on the sidelines.
On first down, Francis throwing again. Going deep into the corner, and it is incomplete, and a penalty flag. Anthony Miller gets the flag. The Alabama man, Chris Good, had the ball in his sights for the interception, and Miller comes across and nailed him in the back.
Great idea. He knew it was going to be intercepted, or at least thought it was, so he went to make contact. Let's see when he does. See if the ball's already there. Oh, that's close. Still a good decision. I wouldn't fault him. If I'm a coach, I'm going to say, hey, that's good reaction and a great idea. Here it is again. Now, it looks like it's going to be intercepted, so now he just wants to shake loose the defender from the football.
He gave him a lick, didn't he?
He did. That's a good play by the offense. I don't care if there is a penalty. That's a good play. And I guarantee you the coaches will tell him that.
Carries loss of a down with it. So the ball comes back to the 44 where it is second down. Second down and 25. Ball loose. And Francis pounces on it and keeps control. So he didn't get away from the snap that time. And it's third down. Story on Gene Jelks now from Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, it's just a mild sprain. I wanted you to take a look at these shoes if you can pan down for a second here. He's wearing a special pair of shoes that are designed to stabilize the ankles. They have metal stabilizers on the side. Gene has had a problem in the past with his ankles. It's a mild sprain, as I mentioned, and they probably won't play them up 49. They won't play Gene again this afternoon, up 49-21.
Jeff Francis on third down and 25. Penalty flag down, gets his pass away, and Cleveland makes a spectacular catch inside the 35, but let's see about the penalty. I think that Laundrie back up on the field is going to bring that one back. And Cleveland is scissored and nailed by Greg Gilbert and needs a little rest. They're going to bring it back. He must have been 6 feet in the air, and he really took a pop.
Put his mouthpiece back in his mouth, though, and he took it back down.
Illegal procedure on the offensive team. Had 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
He just had the wind knocked out of him. He comes off, he's okay. He put that mouthpiece back in his mouth. You knew then that he was starting to breathe again. But watch him. He's up at the top of your screen, number 4. Now they're in a zone coverage. He gets right in the heart of that seam. See, here come 4 Alabama players now. He's just a little bitty guy. He's 5'9", 155 pounds. That's like a feather up there. Some of those linebackers get down low on his ankles and his feet and his legs, and he does a complete somersault.
Third and 31 as time runs out in the third quarter, and they stop the play. So we played 3 at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Alabama is in control, 49-21.
Your life is changing, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm agent Jim McConnell. Terry Saylor's life insurance started out pretty simple. Then there were 3 children, 2 new mortgages, a big job promotion for Terry, and for Mrs. Saylor, a life plan of her own. 7 updates in just 6 years. State Farm agents are there to start you out with life insurance that works for you.
And like a good neighbor,
And we're there to keep it working for you.
State Farm is there.
Is this Howard Johnson?
Yes, sir. There's been a lot of changes. You might say we're turning the place upside down.
You know, a lot is changing at Howard Johnson. New rooms, new furnishings, and new attention to service. It's different. I like it.
1 second. I'm just straightening up.
No matter how you look at it,
This is Howard Johnson.
we're turning Howard Johnson upside down.
On the Disney Sunday movie, he's a millionaire cat.
My privacy is very important, kitty.
Who's got what everyone wants. He's the richest cat in the world.
At Champion Chevrolet Olds in Athens, we offer something extra to our customers, like personal attention and better service at competitive prices. Now with the purchase of any remaining 86 model, you'll get a 4-day trip to Jamaica. Your choice of Montego Bay or Kingston with deluxe hotel accommodations, and this includes air transportation. 2 round-trip tickets with Air Jamaica. This is a special limited promotion, so act now. Call or see us for all the details at Champion Chevrolet Olds, Highway 72 in Athens.
First American Federal, celebrating our 60th anniversary, announces the grand opening of our new Madison Square office next to the new mall. And to celebrate our grand opening, come by and register for cash prizes to be awarded October 30th. Meet branch manager Sylvia Bragg and her staff. They're ready to serve you and your financial needs. We appreciate your business. Help us celebrate our 60th year serving Huntsville by coming by our new branch office next to the Madison Square Mall.
First American Federal, your road to success.
Home-owned, home-operated, Channel 31.
Been a bit of a long day for Johnny Majors and his Tennessee Volunteers. 49-21 with a quarter to go. Vols have the ball, third down and 31 from their own 37. Playing the number 2 team in the country. Jeff Francis ducks away from the pressure, gets his pass off, should have kept it. It is intercepted by Freddie Robinson. The overthrew the receiver, Clink Scales, who had 3 Alabama people around him. He had a lot of room to run. He could have run for about 15, 18 yards, but he tried to force it in, and it didn't work.
Again, he had room to run, and he didn't. He throws at Clink Scales. Clink Scales says, hey, wait a minute. 3 guys around. I already saw what happened to Cleveland. He got his lunch. I'm just going to let this one sail.
Freddie Robinson's 3rd interception of the season. And Alabama has the ball first down at their own 44. And Mike Shula's in there at quarterback pitching to Bobby Humphrey. And he takes it to the Tennessee side of midfield and picks up a first down at the ball's 43.
All you have to look at is the 3rd little stat down. Rushing yards, 400 for Alabama. And that'll tell the tale. And I know Johnny Majors won't agree with me. Well, this is one of the most exciting lopsided games I've seen in a long while.
You can add 13 more yards to that, too. Off that run by Humphrey just now. Humphrey again. He's over 200 as he picks up another first down at the Tennessee 27-yard line. Bobby Humphrey has passed 200 yards. 212 is total.
The scary part is, Keith, it looks like he's just getting warmed up.
He does, doesn't it? He's running just as strong now as he did at the beginning. So that's a new mark for an Alabama running back against Tennessee in the long series. Humphrey one more time. And a couple of yards on that carry. Well, Jelks has already got a sprained ankle, and I'm a little surprised Humphrey's still in the game. He's got his 200 yards or whatever, and I think Bobby may be called to the sidelines and to sit down, son, and take a rest.
Even as you speak. Well, last week he had 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Bobby Humphrey grew up wanting to play for Alabama. We saw his house 2 weeks ago across from Legion Field. He sold Cokes in the stands so he could watch the Tide play. Now he's living his dream.
And David Castile comes in at the tailback position. He is a sophomore from Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. They give the ball to Bo Wright on 2nd down and 8, and Bo gets a yard or so. Halftime, USC and Arizona State even. Washington winning big over Bowling Green. You see Auburn continuing to win. And number 6 Penn State 42-3 over Syracuse today. And they'll be down in Tuscaloosa next Saturday against number 2 Alabama. And we'll have it for you starting at 3 o'clock with college football today here on ABC. 3 o'clock Eastern Time.
Bobby Humphrey selling Cokes. You know, a couple more years like this, he'll be able to buy the Coke concession.
That's right. 3rd down and 7, and timeout called here. Humphrey needs only 22 yards for a Bama rushing back record, but I don't think Ray Perkins thinks that way, though he has come back in the game.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth, super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
To those people who haven't yet said bye-bye basics, hello, Nissan Sentra, who haven't experienced the longer, wider, roomier Sentra, who haven't known the superior fit and finish of Sentra. To those people who bought basic when they could have bought a new 1987 Sentra, Nissan would like to say, relax. We've got one waiting for you. The quality and value is Sentra. The name is Nissan.
The Denver Broncos. Quarterback John Elway has their offense going full steam ahead, but the New York Jets plan to derail the Bronco Express on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Arizona State and Southern Cal are tied up at halftime. Remember, in the Pac-10, 9 teams, or the Pac-10, I should say, 9 teams have a win, 9 teams have a loss. Arizona State with the tie to Washington State is the team everyone is chasing. Meanwhile, Baylor continues to lead Texas A&M. They have just gone to the 4th quarter, and it's 27-17. Keith?
All right, Jim. Bobby Humphrey is back on the field. I'm really surprised at this. What with the Penn State game coming up next week, Jelks already hobbled with a sore ankle. And a 49-21 lead. Humphrey goes down. Poor Brown, look out. He's now out as a receiver, but Shula goes the other way for Al Bell. And the ball is not loose, but a penalty flag is thrown against Andre Kramer. And I think Andre came across, and they're going to read this a little bit as head hunting.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be interception. It's going to be clotheslining, which is a dangerous play in football. They try to keep a tight tab on that so players don't get injured. Here it is. Take a look at it now. Here comes Andre Kramer, the defensive back #1. There's Bell, goes up for the ball. Well, I don't know. The football was up there above his helmet, though. He's going for the football. Oh, that's no. I've got to go with the defensive back there. That is picky. Andre Kramer, #1 there, made a good defensive play.
Defensive interference, first down.
Wrong. It was not interference in any sense. It had to be personal foul. It couldn't possibly have been interference.
It wasn't interference, and it shouldn't have been a personal foul. That's a good defensive play. Hey, I agree with you, though, about Humphrey. David Castile's hardly played today. He's a good back. He should be in there.
First down, Alabama at the Tennessee 10. Humphrey's got the ball. And he's down after about a yard on the carry. Well, with Jelks' sore ankle, and Humphrey should get bunged up here, then David Castile will certainly get playing time next week.
Unless David Castile's a little bit banged up. Now, I know, you know, he's had to overcome some nagging injuries that hampered him throughout his career at Alabama. I don't know if he's banged up now, but...
That's Mike Whitehead coming out, the middle guard for Tennessee. Second down, ball near the 9. Bo Wright in the middle. And they get Bo down finally near the 6.
Keith, we've talked an awful lot about knees and ankles today. We've seen guys hobble on and off the field because of that. But, well, I'm convinced. I'm not going to win any friends, especially from the salesman. I'm convinced you take this artificial turf out of here, and you put in natural turf, and you'll cut down greatly on the injuries to the legs.
Chester Bragg's a fullback, and Kerry Gould, another fullback for Alabama. Neither one of them are here, but we're not talking about the fullback position. We're talking about tailback. Third down. And touchdown, Humphrey.
That's a little guy with power. Watch the collision. He takes Charles Davis into the end zone with him. Now watch this. All right, here's the explosion now. We know he's quick. We know he explodes. The acceleration through the linebackers, now into the defensive secondary, and Charles Davis just kind of rides him back in there.
Van Tippen out for the extra point try. And it's good one more time. 11:41 to play in the game. 56-21 Alabama.
With the Hayes modem, a sales manager can check inventories in manufacturing or track shipments through the mainframe across the country. A lawyer can get precedents to prepare a brief. A farmer can check commodity prices to determine when to sell. And an investor can get the information he needs from Dow Jones, Dun & Bradstreet, or even the government. The Hayes modem. It's like fitting a 10,000-book library in a 10-inch case.
In L.A., where the tans run deep and the beaches run forever, there's a hot new truck.
New Nissan trucks, they run tougher. New Nissan trucks, they work harder.
With the biggest tires in the class, flip-down jump seats, and a big fuel-injected engine.
New Nissan trucks, they look harder.
Hard Bodies, the official trucks of the L.A. County beaches.
You need a hard body.
The choice is Hard Body. The name is Nissan.
Alabama has won or tied for the Southeastern Conference Championship 12 out of the last 21 seasons.
Bobby Humphrey, 220 yards, 14 more, and he'll pass Bobby Marlowe's mark of 233 set back in 1951.
smiling, having fun. That's part of the reason he's in there, I'm sure. He wants to play.
Tiffin with 8 extra points today. One more will tie the NCAA record of 125 straight by Uwe von Schaman when he kicked at Oklahoma. Anthony Miller is the deep man for Tennessee now. As Van Tiffin kicks off. He's had the ball high all day. This one not as high, but it's rolls long. It's off the field of play. Well, coming up, November 2nd, beginning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday morning, the New York City Marathon, which annually draws some 20,000 runners. And Grete Waitz, the great Norwegian marathoner, will be back to defend her championship. And probably Lisa Martin, Commonwealth champion, will be the primary challenger for her. Rob DiCostello, I would think, would have to be one of those to be considered as far as the men are concerned. But right now, Jeff Francis swings the ball out. Pass is complete to Keith Davis. And breaking through the blocking is Chris Good. And Chris makes the tackle right about the line of scrimmage. 56 points is the most points scored against a Tennessee Volunteer team since 1893. So what's happening here is a little salt in a wound that will probably surface next year. Second down and 10. Francis gets it away, caught by Davis. Davis is short of the first down. Again, Good involved on the play for Alabama, stopping him short of the first down. Mike Adamle.
Keith, Alabama is so good that sometimes opponents think that they have 22 men and not 11 men on the field. A certain case of double vision. But don't worry about your vision in this case, because Melanie and Melinda Camp are fraternal twins and great Bama fans, a member of the Spirit Concession, and you're up 56-21. It's not hard to engender a little spirit.
This is great. Y'all, this season is just fantastic. We're ready to go to the Sugar Bowl. This is great.
Okay, double your pleasure, double your fun. Melinda and Melanie just having some fun, huh?
That's right.
Go Tide.
Roll Tide.
Fraternal twins.
Got a little tongue-tied, didn't he? He was overwhelmed, mismatched there.
That old Adamle.
Ball is out on 31 now, where it is the first down for Tennessee. Francis throwing again. Pressure coming from the backside. Passes away to Anthony Miller, and they've got him at about the 36, 37-yard line. Derek Thomas, an interesting young man, and he's going to be a heck of a football player. But if you go back to the opening game of the season up at the Meadowlands in New York when they played Ohio State, it was Derek Thomas that made 2 mistakes late in the game and gave Ohio State a chance to win that ball game, but they didn't. And Michigan, you see, has finally won. Just as time was running out, a field goal for Michigan, and they beat Iowa by 3. The field goals have decided that one for many years. And up the middle, carrying the ball is Vando Davis, and he's got another volunteer first down.
Talking about Derek Thomas, you mentioned the 2 mistakes that he made at the end of that ball game, but he had played a very fine football game to that point.
He had.
And I think they were mistakes of aggressiveness, which you can coach. He came back the very next week against Vanderbilt, intercepted a pass, and ran it in for a touchdown.
43-yard line, first down, Tennessee. Alabama now beginning to substitute quite a bit. Set up that wide receiver screen for Anthony Miller, and that's a pretty good play by Chris Good right there.
That's an outstanding play, Keith, and it's about the 3rd one in a row he's made. This time he read the flanker screen. At first I thought he read it quick enough where he was going to try to intercept it. If he does, it's a touchdown. But then he realized he wasn't quick enough, so he got up and took out the blocker and then reached out and took down the tackler, or the ball carrier rather.
Cornelius Bennett's out of the ball game now, and Philip Brown is in, a junior from Birmingham, playing at that linebacker position for the Tide.
You got a style like that?
On second down and 9, from behind, Jeff Francis is taken down by Philip Brown.
They are loaded. loaded at every position. Big, strong, fast. It's very difficult to find a weakness in this Alabama football team. What did Frank used to say? A lot of guys that look like Tarzan play like Jane. They've got guys, they all play like Tarzan.
Derek Rushton in there defensively. Darrell Whetstone is in defensively along the front for Alabama as Jeff Francis drops again, fakes it, rolls it out, drops it underneath to Charles Wilson, and down he goes up on the 47. That is short of the first down, and it brings up 4th down.
You said salt in the wound that may surface next year. This could surface for the next several years. Johnny Majors really has a lot of good young talent, but it is young.
Asman's punch today are 40 and 47. Knocks this one out of the air. Greg Richardson takes it. And they run him back inside the 15 and knock him down on the 14.
But there is a
penalty flag back around the 15, 16-yard line, a 38-yard punt. So let's see about the call here. Could be clipping. Is half the distance on Alabama.
We've got cakes up here. We've got M&Ms up here, chocolate. This is fun.
Flipping on the offensive team during the run back. It'll be 1st and 10.
David Smith is in at quarterback now. David Castile is in at tailback. And Carlos Robinson is in at fullback for Alabama. So I think the frontliners are gone for the day. Most of them anyway. Castile is out from the 8, close to the 13. And again, the Tennessee defense is obviously very tired now. They've been out on the field an awful lot. They've taken a lot of abuse, and they're obviously tired. So the reserve offensive unit for Alabama is going to blow them off the line of scrimmage probably without a whole lot of trouble. That's a pack of ice is on Gene Jelks. Second down, about 4.5 as Castile has it again and breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he is close to a first down.
David Castile's a fine running back too. He had an outstanding game against Florida. 10 carries, picked up 78 yards and a touchdown against Florida.
And they went down there to do it too. So if you win in Gainesville, you've played these days with Galen Hall, though Galen's had a lot of people hurt. Won a ball game today up in the Northeast. He went out to Meadowlands to play Rutgers and got a win with Kerwin Bell laid up. It is first down from the 18-yard line. The time remaining is 5:35. Castile getting some work, and he gets to the line of scrimmage that time, and that'll about do it. In a 56-21 Alabama lead. And we look ahead to next Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Bryant-Denny Stadium. Undefeated Penn State comes in. David Smith. Ray Perkins likes him. He thinks he's a good quarterback. It off to the fullback this time, Carlos Robinson. Carlos is a junior from Enterprise, Alabama, 190-pounder. And he gets about 3 yards on that carry. You see Humphrey with 217, Jelks with 89, Wright with 90. Poor boy. That's a lot. Third down and 6. steal. Caught at the ankles as he made his cut, and he is short of the first down, and so Chris Moore will come in to punt.
Well, that sets up some kind of shootout for next week in Tuscaloosa. Penn State, Alabama, both undefeated, both with national title aspirations.
And the history of that series, they've all been wars.
It's the one where the sideline gets a little bit like a rubber band.
Well, it was the end zone where there were skid marks that one time that caused a little controversy, too. Chris Moore shoots it out low and should be returned by Thomas Woods. Woods gets it back to midfield. That's a 41-yarder. And Tennessee will go to work there. 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to play in the game in Knoxville.
Announcing the Valvoline Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil. Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
This water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Thompson's Water Seal protects wood, brick, and concrete with its special waterproofing formula. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
A battle of the unbeatens. Alabama is second-ranked in the nation. Paterno's Penn State squad is number 5. Coverage begins with College Football Today, next Saturday.
Well, the Iowa-Michigan game is again decided for the second consecutive year on a field goal as time ran out, and this year the shoe, as it were, is on the other foot, as it was Mike Gillette's field goal which won it for the Wolverines. Earlier, Gillette had hit a 53-yarder for a school record. The winning field goal came from 35 yards out. The Wolves stay unbeaten, and Iowa has a Big Ten loss. Keith?
And Michigan has a big, big win. They remain undefeated, very much in the hunt for the national championship. Miami, Alabama, Auburn. One of them figures to fall next week, however, in Tuscaloosa. All right, Moses Collins comes in for Tennessee at quarterback now. Tony Thompson is in at tailback, and Greg Amsler is in at fullback. Thompson and Amsler, true freshmen. Collins is a redshirt freshman. Collins back to throw it. Swings it out to Thompson. Little guy from Lake Wales, Florida. Shakes one tackler and gets the ball down to the 41 before they finally wrestle him down.
Thompson rushed for 1,500 yards in high school. He's a jitterbug-type runner. Fairly strong for his size. They wanted to redshirt him, but because of the injuries, they suited him up, and now he's in the ballgame.
Tennessee ever gets healthy, they're going to jump up and bite somebody someday when they don't expect it. Second down at about 2. Handoff is to Amsler. He's a 6'3", 230-pounder from Chatham, New Jersey. And looks like he's going to have the first down for the Volunteers. So it's a seasoning time for the freshmen, and they are in there against Alabama reserves primarily, not in the all-together, but mostly.
Moses Collins, they say, could have the most athletic ability of any of their quarterbacks, but they say he has to learn the offense. He's got to gain a better knowledge, more composure under fire, and that's why it's good for him to play against a team like Alabama, even though it's out of control right now.
Takes one man. He's quick. And he's out of bounds down around the 32-yard line. Well, they've had some of those great quarterbacks here at Tennessee over the years, guys with nervous feet like Condridge Holloway. You think you got him pinned in, and bingo, he's gone. I saw Darrell Dickey earlier today, saw him at halftime. Young man who guided Tennessee to its fortunes of a a year ago in the great victory of the Sugar Bowl. Really an impressive performance he put on in the last half of last year for Tennessee. Son of Doug Dickey, the athletic director. Collins throws it in the crowd, and a penalty flag goes down, and you may have an interference called out here, as there were 4 Alabama people all over the intended receiver, Miller.
He threw into coverage, but he threw well.
And Miller had his hands on it.
Miller, he threw the ball before Miller even made his cut.
Be a 15-yard penalty.
All right, here's Miller now. Nothing fancy about it. It's a post pattern. He goes down 15 yards, cuts it back into the post. Now he's running into a zone coverage here. There's men around, and the ball was thrown before he made that cut into the post. And he still almost pulled it down.
So the ball's got a first down inside the 20, near the 17. But the issue was settled some time ago. We've got 2:01 to go in the ball game, and Alabama sitting on a 56-21 lead. Sideline, Keith Davis. And he gets it down to about 10. And another penalty flag. After this, I don't know, but what Ray might not keep him indoors next week, too.
Physical foul, roughing the passer on the defense. It'll be 15 yards added on to the completed pass. First down.
Collins is young, but he's impressive. 5-step drop. Looks off the receiver across the middle, and right away, he plants and goes to the secondary receiver. Now, Collins took a pretty good hit in the backfield. That's where the flag went down, but he still hung in there, threw the ball, put it right on the numbers.
This will be another bother for the Alabama coaches, too. They'll have a lot of talk about this, but that's 13 flags against Alabama today for 101 yards. Don't make those kind of mistakes against the Penn State. Thompson tried to cut it back into the middle, and he ran into Derek Rushton. 6'3", 240-pound tackle from Mobile.
No, but see, that's the thing about the Alabama players are going to be ecstatic about this. They scored 56 points. They beat Tennessee. They're all fired up. They're happy. They're going to get in a meeting, and the coaches are going to give them the devil.
Yeah, he did. He didn't lie.
For making all the mistakes.
Announcing the Valvoline 4-Guard I Love a Parade sweepstakes. Win a trip for 4 to 4 of America's greatest parades. To enter, watch the next commercial and remember what the driver of the smoking car says. Then go to a participating store for details.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell. Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil. Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-Guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
This water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Thompson's Water Seal protects wood, brick, and concrete with its special waterproofing formula. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
Across the campus of UT in Knoxville. Been kind of a grim day for their football team, but in a way it's been quite exciting. There have been some big plays in the ball game. And thanks to Dave Burnson for stats and Todd Barry for the spotting today. Once again, we've enjoyed coming back one more time to Knoxville. Nice city.
Happy birthday to you, too, one more time.
Thank you. Second down and about 2. Tennessee's reserves trying to get it in the end zone against the Alabama reserve. Moses Collins whips it in there. Touchdown. Caught by Terrence Cleveland. Second of the day.
You would think that Tennessee just took the lead by looking at Moses Collins. He is an exciting young man. Threw that touchdown pass, and he was into the end zone almost before the ball got there.
He looked him away from his primary pretty well, too. He kept looking to the guy running the fade in the corner and then just whipped the bullet into Cleveland. Yeah, you know the defensive coach is going to be growling at Alabama with 28 points having been scored against them. Because they came in here with nobody having scored on them for 6 quarters, and they hadn't given up a point in the second half of the last 3 ball games. Tennessee burned them today for 28.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known.
Go! That's why getting into the Rangers is tough, and the training is tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
Find your future in the Army.
When you buy a Nissan 300ZX, you buy a legend, a tradition of many Z cars, each meticulously made to the tolerance of an expensive watch. You buy a racing heritage unmatched by any car in its class. But most of all, when you buy the awesome 300ZX, you buy Nissan. The quality and performance is 300ZX. The name is Nissan.
Yes, Terrence, he's from Sweetwater, Tennessee. And he's had 2 touchdown catches today. Balls will kick off now with 1:23 to play in the ball game. And again, one more time, let me remind you, don't miss one of the premier games of the season next Saturday here on ABC as Alabama takes on Penn State. It'll probably be number 2 against number 5. You got to run it, son. Bobby Humphrey stood there and took a good look where he was and finally realized that he's standing out on the playing field and took off and brought it back.
That time he needed a size 8 shoe to be in the end zone. Yeah. He wears a size 10, had to run.
Bobby going back to sit down. He's done a day's work for the Tide.
This is Collins' touchdown pass now. He's the youngster that Johnny Majors has wanted to play for a couple of weeks and hadn't had the chance.
First down, Alabama, as Smith is the quarterback. Castile is the tailback. David has it and brings it up to about the 22. That's a 3-yard pickup for him. As Zuga, Jeff Bentley, Danny Cash, Charlie Abrams, Jeff Trumorgan, and Andy Anderson, Greg Payne, all in the ball game for Alabama. Carlos Robinson, Clay Whitehurst. Quite a thrill for Clay Whitehurst from Nashville coming here and catching that 34-yard touchdown pass today for Alabama's 2nd touchdown back in the 1st quarter. 2nd down and about 7 for Alabama. Half a minute to go in the ball game.
It's fun to see the enthusiasm of youth, though. Even in a lopsided defeat, 56-28. A lot of the young Tennessee players that have done well and gotten in late are enthusiastic. I mean, Moses Collins threw that touchdown pass to Cleveland, and he was in the end zone to congratulate Cleveland almost before the ball got there.
They're going to let the clock run out. Ball game is over. Final score, Alabama 7-0 on the season, Tennessee 2-4 as the Tide comes into Knoxville and breaks the Tennessee victory string at 4, 56-28.
Universal Life, a philosophical breakthrough. It's not philosophy, it's a kind of life insurance from Metropolitan. Universal Life means the cash value of your insurance earns interest at competitive market rates. Universal Life, a metaphysical miracle. Within limits, you can skip payments or vary the amount of coverage.
You mean it's a kind of insurance from Metropolitan?
Yes, that's all right, too. Get Met, it pays.
Finding a phone in a car isn't that unusual anymore, except when it leaves the car, for greener pastures, the high seas, or a leisurely lunch. Radio Shack keeps you in constant communication with their affordable, transportable cellular telephone.
Hello?
Well, yes, he's right here. It's for you.
Yes, I heard about the merger. Buy 100 shares.
The affordable, transportable cellular telephone, only at Radio Shack.
If you want to risk driving on your old antifreeze another year, you ought to know what you might be getting yourself into. Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while a Prestone radiator looks this good. So for maximum protection, don't push your luck. Change it once a year, every year, with fresh Prestone. And don't you be left out in the cold.
Say, these must be Jack's new Canon personal copiers. Great color.
Yeah, and they copy in 5. You want to see?
Go ahead. Make my day.
Everything you need to copy with is in this replaceable cartridge.
I'll do that.
Good thing Canon has PCs for every personality, even pussy agents.
Lighten up, Jack.
These new Canon personal copiers are light. Put one in my car.
What a guy.
Personal copiers for every personality. For information, call toll-free 1-800-OK-CANON.
Our players of the game. For Alabama, Bobby Humphrey, 27 carries, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. For Tennessee, Jeff Francis, 23 of 30, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. And each university, Alabama and Tennessee, respectively, receiving $1,000 from Chevrolet for their general scholarship fund. Well, it's been fun in Knoxville. Coverage of today's game produced by Bob Goodrich, directed by Larry Camp. Our technical director, Doug Schmidt. Associate director, Jack Graham. That's Dave Burns and spotter Todd Berry. This ABC Sports Exclusive has been brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to test drive the new Go Anywhere Nissan Pathfinder at your Nissan dealer now. By Michelob Light, who said you can't have it all. And by Hayes Microcomputer Products Incorporated. Say yes to the future with Hayes. Once again, your final score, Alabama 56, Tennessee 28. Stay tuned next for updated scores and highlights of college football action on College Football Scoreboard with Jim Lempley. Travel arrangements made through, promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This a presentation of ABC Sports.